found Radio Free Tennessee. Your Tony Basilio show will begin momentarily. Keep it locked in right here at TonyBasilio.com and on your Tony Basilio app. And hey, do us a favor. Spread the word. Another award-winning, thought-provoking, action-packed edition of the Tony Basilio Show is coming up next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show. You found the Tony Basilio stream at TonyBasilio.com or on your smartphone or tablet. Another thrilling, chilling, and sometimes spilling edition of the Basilio Show is on the way next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com.
FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
And we pumped to be with you today, kind of fired up, kind of focused, and I guess prepared. But here we are. It is a great day. I want to thank Byron for the shirt today. I got my Capo Verde shirt on, styling and profiling. And I want to address something here off the top. Laura was telling me about this yesterday, and she's right. So we've got, and Brian will attest to this too, as he spent time in the studio. We've got a tricky phone situation going on in here, and I think that's the reason why some of you have been encountering when you call that you can't get through. And I apologize for that. But what we've got is we've got some pretty expensive equipment in here that's just can't be replaced nilly-willy, as they say in the trade. And so, with that in mind, we've had a situation where, pardon me, we've had a situation where, like the phone will ring, and ordinarily we have to get to it. You know what I mean? Like on our phone system in here, there's a thing, and I'll just show you this. We'll do a little show and tell here. This thing is called the Comrex, y'all. This is used in any major talk studio in the country has one of these. And if you'll look at that red button there, you can't see it, but those of you that are watching our video presentation, and those of you that like the phone, or like the business of what we do here, there's a thing called auto attendant in there. What auto attendant allows us to do is it allows, when it's working properly, it catches the phone calls. Those of you that call the show know that when you pick the phone up and call the show, invariably that thing catches it and puts you on hold. And that's why you're not greeted by somebody saying, "Hey, what do you want to talk about?" Blah, 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 blah. It's just not what we do. And so we've got like a $4,000 unit in here that we should have gotten replaced like 4 or 5 weeks ago, but I disappeared. So anyway, that's kind of where things are, and that's the reason lately a lot of the calls that have called the show have sort of slipped in between the cracks. We just got issues with our phone system. We're getting it fixed this weekend. Our engineer's coming in, and in fact, we're putting a new board in, so which is something else that we anticipated doing back in July. But this stuff is way out of our control. The what goes on in here, like way out of our control. So here we are. It's a great day to be alive and well, fired up, focused, and prepared. Adam Sparks is going to join us, setting the scene with the scrimmage coming up. Do we really have a quarterback battle? Here's where I'm at. I kind of hope so. Over on the blog today, I shared with you some hot takes about college football, some things I believe, and would love to hear you. I would love to hear you, your takes on the upcoming year as well, or your response to what I have and have shared over on the blog today over at tclub.team. The other thing is this video of Chaz Coleman. There's a couple things out there that sort of really kind of are illustrative of this era that we're living with / putting up with in major college sports. The first thing is, let's do Chaz Coleman. So we all, we kind of documented that, the way that whole thing unraveled here. And, Chaz Coleman, I guess after thinking about getting into hip hop, which he really did, by the way, he told people that's what he was going to do. I don't know if he was kidding or not. But you got to be kidding me. After all that, the guy's back working out. Here's where I'm at on the Chaz Coleman thing. This era giveth, and this era taketh away. And I wish the kid well. I hope he goes on and becomes a star football player somewhere, and I hope it works out for him. Because who knows? Maybe he was hit at Penn State. Maybe it really was like a concussion thing, And maybe it took him a while to get himself back. I have no idea. But my whole thing is, who cares? I mean, the era giveth and the era taketh away. And the guys that are on your team you cheer for, And the guys that go, I mean, what are we going to do? You know? I mean, look, Tennessee basketball is smoking right now because of the way they're flushing their roster after every year. And we sat here in the spring and their people were just weeping. Oh, what's going on? This guy's leaving and this guy's left. And you look up and you have a great team, hopefully. You never know in this era, but hopefully. And then you watch the whole baseball situation and you watch Tony Valls walk out the door. And my God, they're inventing ways to lose games. They're going to challenge for 100 losses. And his name's going to be on it. But the thing about Coleman is, I know it's getting a lot of play in our press, and people are very upset, and this guy played. No, he didn't play anybody. I know those people I know enough on the NIL to tell you this. He didn't snooker Tennessee. They covered themselves with him. They're covering themselves with these people now. Look, they can call this thing anything they want to call it. Danny White, they can act like these are marketing agreements. These are pay-for-play agreements. And they did not front-load that guy money. He might have made 50 grand would be my guess. Maybe. And so, at the end of the day, who cares? And my thing is, with all these guys, is I want the free flow of players. So if he comes here and decides, hey, this strength and conditioning coach is too much for me, which I think is what happened. I think that's what it just wasn't quote unquote fun. And his family kind of sent his brother down here. They tried to keep him in the boat, yada yada. We documented all that. They tried to keep him in the boat and keep him happy and keep him this and keep him that. Hey, listen, at the end of the day, who cares? You go on your merry way. And Colombo, he's going to Ohio State. Really? Okay, we'll see. I don't know if a serious program in college football deals with him. Then again, he looked pretty nimble yesterday. He looked pretty quick doing those exercises. So we'll see what happens. The other aspect of this thing is what's going on at LSU. And you can't make this stuff up. You can't even imagine the era that we're living in right now. An attorney representing Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels has informed LSU no longer use his name, image, and likeness, and said he felt, and I quote, profoundly disrespected after LSU allowed cornerback DJ Pickett to wear his number 5 jersey. Hey, Brian Hartman, I have a question for you. How many national championships in the last 20 years has LSU won? How many?
Well, Jalen Daniels didn't win one of them.
Well, that's my point. Let's count them. Saban won what, 2 there or 1?
He won in 2003 and they won in 2007 with Miles.
Okay, so that's 2. And then am I imagining things or did the Ogre win 1?
2019.
Okay, so they've won 3 national championships. They didn't win any with Jaden Daniels. They got smoked on their home field by the University of Tennessee, which really launched Tennessee in that program. And this guy wanted his number retired? Here's the other thing that's rich about this, right? This guy transferred from Arizona State. He was only there for a cup of coffee. He was there 2 years. I mean, what, are you kidding me? But see,
has his number been reissued at Arizona State?
Boy, Brian, I tell you, that's a really good pull by you. I mean, this era, okay, requires us to surrender our wallets like never before, whether it's just to be somebody watches it on television. We have to surrender our credit card information like never before. That's not even speaking of the people that go to these games in person, which very few people listening to me do, but that is what it is. So this freaking guy, that's embarrassing, okay? But it's highly indicative of this era that we're in. And I'm going to tell you something. Chaz Coleman, this guy, whomever, I will make this about the name on the front of the jersey, and these people are interchangeable parts. It's the only way I can do this. It is not personal. We can all have our favorite players from time to time, and that's great. But the days of a 4 or 5 year Chris Lofton here or whatever, I mean, it's sad. It's sad. And you know, the Chaz Coleman thing, people are speculating where he's going to end up. I hope it works out for him. It's the only way. You know, there was a English poet named Gordon Sumner who started out as a teacher and then hooked up with a trio. Got into Stuart Copeland's band. His brother Miles is the founder of IRS Records, but got in Stuart Copeland's band, who's a drummer. They found Andy Summers, a American-born kind of jazzy guitar player, which worked perfectly for a lot of the way Sting wrote, which was a lot of suspended chords and a lot of air, and it just worked perfectly. Anyway, Gordon Sumner said, if you love someone, set them free. Look, the portal's going to give. It's going to take it away. People are going, that's not the last time it's going to happen. As long as they don't have rules, and it's unprofessional sports, and it is what it is, I don't care. I'm happy for these guys. And I hope it works out for them. And here's the other thing. Tennessee might suffer this year because this kid did this, like Sean Sinclair said yesterday. Because if you can't get a consistent pass rusher or pass rush on a quarterback, you're in trouble. And you could see yesterday from that kid's workouts why the Vols liked him. He's quick, man. He quick. All kidding aside. He looked pretty good in that video. All kidding aside. And so, you know, I don't care. I think good for him. Put a video out, get some hype. You know what it reminds me of, though? Another pretty unserious athlete who had put videos out in the summer, but he didn't want to play basketball, which is Ben Simmons. To those of you that are initiated, Ben Simmons, and I'm a Rights to Ricky Sanchez listener. I'm not so much a Sixers watcher day in and day out. I love Spike Eskin and Mike Levin. Those guys make me laugh, and very few things do, and I enjoy them because they have a tremendous amount of passion for NBA basketball somehow, which, hey, that's great. And they pull me in. I like listening to it. Rights to Ricky Sanchez. Say the name. Say the name. Anyway, so they talk about Ben Simmons. When he was with the Sixers, you know, he put a video out in the summer, kind of like what this kid just did. Man, he's working out. He's shooting the ball. He's making layups. He's doing this. He gets in a game, and he's a human He's a human, but anyway. So here's the thing. The Coleman guy, they did the only thing they could do with him. And if it weren't for, this is the little backstory on him, and I ask Guy about this later. But if it was not for the concussion deal and untangling from him and getting him to sign a paper, he would have been gone several weeks before they let him go. Because you can't have people on your team that make a mockery of your football team 1 year after that other kid, the Carter kid, made a mockery. Now, he made an absolute mockery of Tennessee's football team. You can't do it. So here's the thing. Ben Simmons, this kid at LSU, and the Coleman guy are just three examples of how unserious this area is that we're watching. There are many more. Or is there anybody else you want to put on that tree today that just makes you want to say, you know what? I'm just going to watch this stuff. And like Bino told me several years ago, because when the money in baseball is getting out of control, I said, Bino, how do you do it? He goes, I don't look at what they're making. I don't care. I just cheer for the name on the front of the jersey. I don't worry about what a guy makes. It has no bearing on my life, which is really true. I mean, it doesn't. Like my dad, when I was a kid, I'd get all like tore up over winning and losing a game. He'd go, Tony, those people don't care about you. He said, I have to get up tomorrow and, go worry about my crops going bad. Why are you? He said, it's okay to enjoy it and have fun with it. And, we have family around it and all that stuff. But geez Louise, man. I mean, these teams are going to play. Somebody's going to win. Somebody's going to lose. You cannot put your trust in these people. And they're not choosing they're not choosing your school because they want to come there. Tennessee bought that running back. DGG. Okay. I make no bones about that. They set the market for him. Some people think they overpaid. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. But that's what this is now. This is professional in nature, but it's unprofessional. When Chaz Coleman can do what he did and just kind of orchestrate his way out of town, right? And yet be right out there hawking his wares on the open market because his rights don't belong to anybody. And how are fans supposed to feel? The only thing we can do is not care. I don't wish that kid any malice. I don't wish him any injury. I don't wish him another concussion. I hope he has a good, long, healthy career, and after that, a good, long, healthy life with great mental balance. And I hope he gets himself straightened out, and I hope it works out for him. What else can you say? What else can any of us say? And then if you're an LSU fan, right, you're sitting there today and you wake up with the news, this Daniels thing, and you're going, wait a second. This freaking guy was part of an era that got a coach fired. How many SEC championships, Brian, did he win? Help me out with that. Oh, that'd be 0.
Did they even make the championship game?
Thank you.
They maybe once.
Brian, how many playoff games did LSU play in when that kid was there?
0.
Okay. What
they played in one SEC championship game.
What
got obliterated?
What the hell? I mean, I've got an LSU helmet in here, okay? This is from the 2001 banquet. And the reason I keep this in the studio, people have seen this before, but the reason I keep this in the studio is, and Laura's going to laugh when I tell the story, but we snuck into a banquet. We opened up a banquet hall, and Fulmer and Saban were up there in 2001. And we just sat down at a table. It's a true story. We didn't pay to get in. We just walked through the open door. But we ate the buffet meal. We watched young Dave Neal up there with young Saban and young Fulmer. And they did their rigmarole and their Q&A. And, of course, they were laying in wait for us and whipped us. And then they said, we got door prizes today. Anybody with a mark under their seat, reach around your seat. You've got something stuck to your seat. And I won a door prize. I mean, it was the absurdity of that weekend. Little did I know that I was going to win the helmet and lose a trip to Pasadena, but that's what happened. So I keep this around because I kind of have a soft spot. I like these LSU people. They make me laugh. Jaden Daniels is not one of them. He's not one of those people. He's just not. And talking to Mark Griffin, talking to former athletes, talking to the Wiz, Tony White at Griff's wedding, and the great Clarence Swearingen, and so many of these people, I'm just left to wonder. I'm just left to wonder in this era. Not everything, not everything that counts in life can be counted. And I just wonder, at the end of the day, if we're just kind of missing the boat because the kid sucks. Who cares? He didn't win anything. He's a nice pro quarterback on a very in an unserious franchise. I mean, that is unbelievable. So, other examples of just unserious people, just unserious people. Yeah, and what the kid's upset about is they've got a kid they've given number 5 to. What was your number supposed to be retired? 0 SEC championships. You got smoked by Tennessee when you transferred in there. You ended up having a nice year, and you ended up going high in the NFL draft. You know, how many people have gone high in the NFL draft at LSU? It's ridiculous. And then the Coleman thing. I have some fans like, man, really need to give it to him. People telling me that. Why? I'm rooting for him. What the hell do I care? If we can't overcome what Chaz Coleman did to us, shame on Josh Heupel, shame on that defense, shame on everybody involved. Can't let one player sink your fortunes today. And you can't sink all your fortunes into one player today. That's the other thing. And so, I just kind of don't understand. This era is just so exhausting. It's exhausting. But yet, for somebody like me who loves chaos and content, I'm a chaos content guy. I love chaos and content. But I wonder if they allow the structure of this sport to continue. I'm speaking of college sports now, in light of this Coleman development. I wonder how long this can go on. I just wonder. Just asking for a friend. Are there other examples you can think of at 865-200-5402 of just things in this era in college sports where you just have to turn your nose up at it? Just go, hey, I'm not even going to acknowledge it. I'll give you another one. Thinking out loud here. What other sport in the United States of America could a guy win a national championship and then not immediately leave, but wait till his team is holding the ball in Dusty May? Think about how quick that was. Dusty May was at a directional school in Florida. They upset the Vols in the Sweet 16 as they made a run through the tournament. Great story. Incredible story. And then he ends up in Michigan. And then they buy the best team money can buy. And then they decapitate us. Hey, Julie Herman's roast beef. I don't have any calls, sweetheart. I don't know how to tell you that. I can't make people call. So you can go to hell and quit listening if that's what you want to do today. You people have no idea how hard it is to do a radio show. Like, as in, no idea. So, I digress. How unserious is it when you win a national championship and you just walk out on your program? You just quit. You just quit. You know? I just, for the life of me, can't get over how completely silly this era is, and how the sports continue to grow during it. That's the thing that's kind of remarkable to me about this whole era. These sports continue to explode in this era. Maybe it's what we want. Coleman, I'm not mad at him. I'm happy for him. We're going to bring Adam Sparks in top of next hour, and we're going to talk with Adam, who covers the Vols, about some of the races up for grabs this weekend at the scrimmage, some of the unanswered questions that Tennessee has. And so we'll get into that with him. In the meantime, on the other side, I want to share with you a few of the things I believe about the major college football season coming up, including the reasons why I believe that we're going to watch UCLA be a really good story this year in college football. Another guilty pleasure of mine. I said it before Nico went out there. I've always kind of enjoyed UCLA. I love their colors. I'm kind of rooting for them this year. I mean, that was rock bottom last season, what that kid transferred into. And he kind of left Tennessee in a lurch. And again, it sort of worked out for the Vols. No hard feelings. We didn't crash and burn. We came out on the other side alive. Now, in a perfect world, is he still the quarterback here? Sure. And in a perfect world, if he's a quarterback here, is Tennessee a top 4, top 5 team in the league preseason? Probably. Probably, because then your approach is totally different. In the offseason, you're building around him. But the Chesney guy, the offense they're going to run, he's going to flourish in it. And I'm not going to root against the guy. I mean, to me, in this era, we don't get me wrong. There are teams, obviously, that we're going to root against, we're going to hate. UCLA? Chaz Coleman? I mean, UCLA and Chaz Coleman are not two things that are going to trip my hatred meter. But if you could think of other examples of just the unseriousness of this era that we're living in, the Daniels guy, you're not allowed to use my name, image. Dude, we're the school that Joe Burrow went to, who's a little better than you at your level, and who was the number 1 pick and won a national championship here. I mean, imagine that. How embarrassing that is. Oh, boy, I tell you, man, LSU is really going to suffer from that. They can't put that kid's name on anything. I mean, what are you kidding? As we continue with more on the other side right after this.
Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Vols fans, this is linebacker Jaden Perlotti. When my family and friends need Tennessee gear, I tell them every time, Alumni Hall has it all. With 7 stores in Tennessee, you get the best selection of ball gear anywhere. Adidas, Peter Millar, Yeti, Awala, No Rivals, Tailgate Gear, and more. Shop in store, online, or download the Alumni Hall app. Whether you need to blitz or throw a touchdown, Alumni Hall will help you win. Alumni Hall, your ultimate ball shopping experience. And tell them Jaden sent you.
The High Noon line of hard seltzers is always a winner and always next level. High Noon vodka seltzers come in 14 flavors with real vodka and real fruit juice. Only 100 calories with no sugar added, and it's gluten-free. Personally, I'm partial black cherry and pineapple. 14 flavors. That's as many bad takes as I've got in a week. In the mood for a kick? Try High Noon vodka iced tea in 6 refreshing flavors, including peach and lemon, green tea, and half and half. Feeling adventurous? Check out High Noon tequila seltzer in 6 refreshing flavors, including my favorite, blood orange. High Noon real vodka, real fruit juice. Live like the sun is always out. Brought to you by High Noon Spirits Company. Must be 21 and over to enjoy responsibly.
It's the hottest post-game show on the planet.
Garza Law.
Fifth quarter fan reaction.
Fan reaction.
As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
It's a huge weekend at Covenant Health Park with your Knoxville Smokies. They're kicking off the weekend with a feel-good Friday. And for Saturday, make sure to wear your orange and arrive early. It's Tennessee night. The first 1,000 fans through the gates will get a free Deshaun Bishop bobblehead and stay late for fireworks. Sunday, it's our day game of the week, and it's Crayola Day. First 1,000 kids will get to color their own lunchbox. And after the game, they can run the bases. Weekend plans, check. Get your tickets now at SmokiesBaseball.com.
With Gary Sturm. He's with Mortgage Investors Group, making our community a better place every day. Gary, you've been at it 32 years, man.
Yes, Tony, I've been at Mortgage Investors Group for 32 years. We've known each other since, back in the 80s, right?
And we've gotten to know each other recently as our family has gotten involved with another mortgage. Through that whole process, you were a prince, just like Jeker. When he called you at 3 o'clock in the morning after a Tennessee loss, you've been giving your phone number out for a couple decades. And why is that, Gary?
This is the biggest financial decision you're ever going to make. You don't want to trust somebody online, some 800 number. You want to call somebody like myself that's going to give you my number, and you can call me anytime. I'm there to help you. I'm there to help you and your family, and I appreciate that. I appreciate your trust in me. You can call me anytime. You can be like Jeker and call me at 2 in the morning and complain about the Vols just like he did. I'd rather you call me about a mortgage, but that's okay. If you want to cry about the Vols, we can do that too. I'm a Vol at heart. You know that. And if you want to come in and meet with me face-to-face, I'm here. If you want to do it online, I'm here. That's fine. If you're curious if you can qualify to buy a house, people know the housing market's tough. That's what I'm here for. There's no obligation. You can call me anytime. I get you pre-qualified. Or maybe you've got a mortgage and you're thinking about refinancing. Maybe you want to shorten the term. Maybe you want to go to a 15-year. Who knows? But again, that's what I'm here for. It's what I've been here for 32 years. My number is 865-660-2648. It's 865-660-2648.
Gary Sturm at Mortgage Investors Group, going to take great care of you.
Got a plumbing or HVAC problem at home? Whether it's an AC that won't cool, a furnace acting up, a clogged drain, or a water heater problem, Pipe Wrench Home Services is ready to help. Right now, get 15% off any HVAC or plumbing repair when you schedule service with Pipe Wrench Home Services. Our licensed technicians are equipped to diagnose the issue, explain your options, and get the repair done right the first time. Don't let a small problem turn into a major headache. That strange noise from your air conditioner, the water heater that's not keeping up, or the drain that keeps backing up won't fix itself. The longer you wait, the bigger the problem can become. At Pipe Wrench Home Services, we make repairs simple with friendly technicians and fast, reliable service that you can count on. We'll arrive ready to identify the problem and get your home back to normal as quickly as possible. Take advantage of 15% off any HVAC or plumbing repair and schedule your appointment today at pipewrench.com. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free. Restrictions may apply. Eligible for repairs up to $5,000. Visit pipewrench.com for details.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires, just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776, or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
TB back with you, 865-200-5402. So I welcome you back. On the one, the only, this is your Tony Basilio show, often imitated, never duplicated. Place where we keep it real, like I did with Julie Herman's roast beef. And like we're going to now, let's do some hot takes on the upcoming season. By the way, another great one mentioned here over on the YouTube, which is that Legend Bay is another one of these people. And Matt Dixon's now in the house with us. Hey, Matt, Legend Bay's off to a scintillating start, isn't he?
Not sure how long he's going to last up there in Columbus.
Huh.
That, like Cinco says, goofy recruitment, goofy career, and that's a tried and true saying that holds up over time.
Yep. Even during the NIL era, that holds up. Even when you're kind of playing for dialing for dollars. Because there's nothing goofier than signing with a school and then saying, you know what, I really didn't want to do that. My parents made me do that, or whatever the backstory was on that deal. And now he's at Ohio State and he's already suspended. And so that's a good example. You've got the Coleman thing. That's just totally an unprofessional era we're living in, that he could be hawking his wares already. But somebody's going to bite at the apple because he looked pretty good in those videos. So the Legend Bay deal, this thing that's going on at LSU is just a total embarrassment. Is there anything else, Matt, that you can think of before we get into, of course, the Boo Carter thing last year was absolutely stupid. Anything else stand out to you about how we have to hold our nose just about this era? Flashpoints.
Well, you've got players who lost their eligibility, who seemed to be eligibility 2 years ago, that are trying to get back in. And all of a sudden,
well, that's a good one. The Bediako thing. Yeah, I mean, this crosses all sports. Yeah. No. And here's the thing about it, guys. You wake up any day, or you go to sleep, or whatever you do, you never know what you're going to see the next day online. You know? BH has a good one. Another thing about this era, the way you just got to the way you just have to take your nose and just hold it. What about these high schoolers that go online now, go on social media and announce where they're transferring, where they're going? That's another great one. These high school kids saying, hey, I'll be taking my talents to, I mean, what are we doing? And what have we done? And that's the era we're in. Nothing can happen without a camera around. Everything's documented. I don't know. Shout out to Perlotti. Shout out to Alumni Hall. I love my friends at Alumni Hall. They've got a great something or other coming up in the month of September we're going to be telling you about. But shout out to them. They're a wonderful partner of ours. Fired up, focused, and prepared. All right, let's get to things I believe about the 2026 season nationally. The first one is, the more I watch the SEC and the Big Ten fight for control of the sport, the more I'm hoping this is true. So I'm just going to step out and say this is going to happen. Neither the SEC nor the Big Ten wins the national championship in 2026. And I'm going on the premise that last year, Miami, I don't want to say came out of nowhere, but didn't win their league. And went on a run and came about as close as you can to beating a great Indiana team last year. And Miami's got Mensah, who's projected to be a first-round pick. They've got a couple other projected first, and they got some high-end talent on their football team. And could it be them? Could it possibly be? And Miami, by the way, is plus 1,100 right now, which Indiana last year won the Natty at plus 1,000. They were a 10-1 shot. Now, how Indiana was a 10-1 shot last year, looking back on it, we all would have bet our houses on it. But what about Notre Dame? I have a hot take wrapped around Notre Dame as well. I believe somebody other than the SEC or the Big is going to win the Natty this year. I think it'd be great for college football if it happened, personally. I know you're so, well, Tony, it's just so obnoxious the way they're throwing it in our face. Look, the SEC is still the best league. The SEC, when the time comes, still going to have the most SEC first-round picks. Still going to have the most players drafted. Still going to have the best tradition. Still going to be played in the best stadiums. Still going to be played in the best weather. Still going to be played in the best environments. Still going to have things around these games like what we do Friday, which is unsurpassed down at Calhoun's on the River, a tradition unlike any other. Still going to have just the most visitors, which is a great question. I wonder how many fans per year, because I bumped into a couple when I was wearing my Tennessee stuff. And I wore it every day, pretty much. My orange shirt, those of you saw me wearing, that long sleeve shirt I wear in July, even when it's like 1,000 degrees. But people were saying, yeah, we're planning a road trip to, not necessarily here, but various SEC spots. Certainly the conference has to lead in terms of convention and visitor bureau dollars. So this league doesn't need us to quote-unquote pull for it. It's not a little engine that could anymore. It's a big, obnoxious engine. It's like cheering for Wall Street at this point. It really is. It's obnoxious. Anyway, Notre Dame this year plays zero schedule. Here's hot take number 2. By the way, 100-1 shots this year coming into the season. If you think we're going to have a repeat of last year, where Indiana as 100-1, 10-1. I'm sorry, a plus 1,000, a 10-1 shot, won it. BYU, who's going to have opportunities. BYU's in a league right now that's, Texas Tech doesn't have a quarterback, or do they? I guess we're going to find out. But they obviously didn't think enough of the kid because they went out and paid Sorsby all that money. And so we'll see what happens. But you got Texas Tech, or rather BYU. Also in that category include by and by away. You've got Clemson. You've got Florida State. You've got Iowa State, whose football team is now in Happy Valley. You've got Vanderbilt, and you've got Iowa. Now, you think about Indiana last year winning it from that slot, and that's crazy train stuff, the way they looked. Matt, I don't see any of those teams finishing anywhere near the money. I don't think that Indiana thing was such an outlier, Matt, for that to happen like it did last year. So strange.
Yeah, I don't even consider those other teams like legitimate playoff contenders.
That's exactly right.
Much less, winning 3 playoff games.
Here's hot take number 2. Notre Dame, and I'm going to argue against myself here a little bit. If Notre Dame loses more than a game, they should not make a playoff. Now, look, these two leagues control the playoff. Okay? They just do. They're going to set how many teams are in it. They're the reason it went from 4 to 12. They're the reason it's going to go from 12 to God knows what. But here's the thing. Notre Dame's schedule is a total embarrassment. They should have to go 11-1 to get into the playoff. I'm being 100% serious here. Notre Dame's 11-1 would equal teams in the SEC's 10-2, in my opinion. A 10-2 team in this league should jump Notre Dame, even if they're 11-1. I'm being so. In other words, if they go 10-2 against that schedule, 9-3 teams in this league are better than them. A 9-3 Tennessee would have a better accomplishment than a 10-2 Notre Dame this year. Here's the schedule. Versus Wisconsin and Green Bay. Wisconsin's a joke. Rice, enough said. Michigan State, come on now. At Purdue, oh geez Louise. At North Carolina, what a damn train wreck. Stanford, oh my gosh. At BYU, hey, we're 6 weeks in. That's your first difficult game of the schedule. It happens on the 17th of October. Lottie freaking Dottie. You know, Lottie freaking Dottie. Good for you. Versus Navy in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Why? At home with Miami. At home with Boston College. At home with SMU. And then they finish the season at Syracuse. Basically, Notre Dame plays 3 losable football games, but if you look at Vegas, none of these games are really should be in doubt. The only one that's even remotely close is Miami, as that's a 6.5 point spread projected right now. Notre Dame's favored in every game they play. Every game. I'm telling you. Matt, if they go 10-2, they should not make the playoffs. True or false against that schedule?
I mean, they should not be a lock to be in at 10-2, absolutely, because that's not a. It's 3 tough games, and the Miami and SMU games are both at home in November, which you have to factor in weather for those games. I would think they could have a huge advantage there, with like a Miami team traveling up to South Bend. That BYU one is easily the toughest game, I think. And then they have a bye before they play Navy, which can always be kind of quirky with how they run their offense, but that's off a bye. And then you get Miami that next week, so that could be tricky there with the Hurricanes. But yeah, it's anything less than 11-1, and they've underachieved big time.
And they don't belong in a playoff.
So they play 6 ACC teams and 3 Big Ten, middle of the pack Big Ten teams, right?
That's it, Brian.
The middle of the pack to bottom.
No USC, no Penn State, no Michigan.
They play some name teams, programs, but programs that are definitely kind of floundering right now.
Miami's the only legit, and BYU, they're the only legit teams right now.
And SMU.
Yeah, here's the thing about it. That's an embarrassing schedule. It's embarrassing. People can say, well, what about Ohio? Well, Indiana last couple. Indiana had Ohio State on their schedule. Twice. Notre Dame doesn't have to do that. Notre Dame doesn't have to play they don't have to play in a conference. See, that's the other problem here. These other teams are going to go and grind themselves up. It might be good for the deal if Notre Dame goes 10-2 and then goes and wins a national championship and just shows how fraudulent this whole thing is. Because that's fraudulent. That's fraudulent. So that's hot take number 2. And look, here's the thing about Notre Dame. They're loaded. They don't need a cupcake schedule. I was doing research last night. There are 3 projected, pretty much surefire first-round picks on their team, and then there's a 4th. They might have 4 first-round picks on their football team. Come on now. And they've de-emphasized basketball. It's the reason the Harrelson kid's here. They're not even trying in hoops anymore. That Shrewsbury guy, I mean, he wishes he would have stayed at Penn State, and they de-emphasized basketball. So this thing is crazy. If you want to read the hot takes, go over to tclub.team or tonybasilio.com. I lay them out for you. But my first one is, I don't think the SEC or Big's going to win the national championship this year. Matt, is that a crazy thought?
I think it is, because besides Notre Dame, I'm not really sure who else could do it. I mean, I guess you mentioned Miami, and they came pretty close last year.
Yep.
But I mean, Notre Dame. If it's not Notre Dame, then I'm not sure who else could do it.
Yeah, it's like I said, I was sort of arguing against point one with my point two take, but my point two take stands because that's just not a representative schedule and making a serious attempt. And people say, well, they made the schedule 7 years ago. I don't give a damn when they made the schedule. I think they made the schedule 15 years ago. That's zero bearing on our conversation here. You don't play in a league. You're having your cake. You're eating it too. And your criteria is to go 10-2 against your schedule to get in, as best we know, right? Isn't that kind of their qualifier? Why would they have to go 10-2 against that schedule? They could lose.
They just
have
to finish in the top 12.
They could lose half their team and finish in the top 12 with that schedule. They need to get punished for not playing anybody. Period. End of sentence. Hot take number 3. By the way, Adam Sparks is going to join us here in a few minutes. On a day where we're just sitting back, kicking back, and winding through it here with some great content. UCLA and Nico are going to have a much better 2026 season. You know, before this thing's over, we might be looking at the James Madison deal and calling that deal the cradle of coaches. Now, Brian, they did hire, with the job open this time, they had a curious hire, yes? Who's the coach, James Madison? They kind
of hired a coach on his way down, Billy Napier.
Makes no sense.
Who, by the way, had success in the Sun Belt at Louisiana.
Yeah, he's a great Sun Belt hire.
So I don't know if I'd sell that hire.
Oh, no. But what I'm saying is,
I'll sell it.
What I'm
that
saying
guy is awful. Coach.
What I'm saying is,
coach.
Bob Chesney's an excellent young coach. They run a great offense. They are extremely fun to watch. They will be fun to watch. Dean Kennedy, their offensive coordinator, the new OC, comes with Chesney out to Westwood, and they're going to be, with Nico, pretty dynamic. They're going to be pretty good. Las Wages has their win total at 6.5, which is one less than ours. And I think they're going to win 7 football games against a not tremendously challenging schedule. And I think they're going to be fun to watch. And my prediction for Nico is that he passes for 2,800 yards, 18 touchdowns. He adds another 380 rushing yards. With 8 rushing touchdowns. It's a perfect scheme for him. In a league against many of these opponents, he's going to get room to operate. Their schedule is as follows. They open up at Cal, ACC team. Then they play San Diego State, out of the pack, whatever they're in. Then they have the Purdue Boilermakers. Then they go to Maryland. They should start 4-0. They should start 4-0. Then they're going to go to Oregon, where they're going to get destroyed. Then they're going to host Wisconsin. Probably win that game, be 5-1. Coin flip game against Michigan State. They could win that one and be 6-1. They could be one of the stories of college football at the midseason. They really could be. What do you think, Matt? Crazy thought or no? I think he's gonna have a really good year out there.
There's a path there to where they can be 5-1 or so. I wouldn't bet on that.
I wouldn't either.
The offensive line has to improve a ton.
Yes,
and they just have to get a lot better, basically everywhere. Because that team was unwatchable for much of last year.
That's a pretty challenging opener with the Cal quarterback.
Agree, Brian. He's a very good player. That's exactly right.
I can't say his name, but
that's
like you can. There's that path to being 5-1, 6-1.
Yep.
Really even 7-1 because they play Nevada for some reason on Halloween.
That's correct.
But all of those games are also kind of losable too. Like I would probably pick them to beat most of those, but they could you could see them losing at Maryland. That's just kind of a weird, quirky trip across the country.
Yeah. Yes.
Purdue, like I could see Purdue beating them. Like it wouldn't be a total shock. They're probably better than Purdue.
But 7.5 is their.
Besides Oregon, those are all kind of toss-up games, really.
7.5 is their win total, and I think the Chesney guy is an excellent young coach. I think that's a very good hire by them. I was surprised one of the Southeastern Conference lesser likes didn't jump at him, Matt. And Arkansas, somebody like that. He just strikes me as kind of a serious hire in today's college football. And maybe lightning struck twice at James Madison. We'll see.
Yeah, you hired Will Stein and Ryan Silverfield instead.
I'm pretty
Comrade Polish.
Yeah, I'm pretty nonplussed by where we are. Here's the thing about Miami I'm banking on. It's an offensive game. And just back to that Miami, just back to the hot take of Miami making their way through you're playing in the ACC. Look at that league. They're going to be right back in the playoff, and they know a lot of those kids know how to play in playoff football. Yeah, I get it. The quarterback's gone. The Mensa guy is a really nice player. So we'll revisit some of those later on. On the other side, Adam Sparks joins. I want to get some of Matt's on the upcoming season. I think Nico's going to have a good year. And again, I'm rooting for the kid. I've made peace with that. His dad's a nut. His dad's a freak. I feel sorry for Nico. I really do. I feel sorry for the Coleman kid. The Coleman kid's going to miss out on being a part of something great this year. You know how much fun that kid would have had playing in Neyland Stadium? If he would have just gotten on board and done what was expected of him. He's the only guy that didn't do it. It isn't like they put these guys through a Junction Boys boot camp. He's the only one. Think about that. He's literally the only one.
I think that more reflects his unserious nature about playing football than anything else.
Of course.
And he just not wanting to do it because the rest of them could.
And buyer beware. The Lumbos of the world tell me that Ohio State this. I don't know. I do know. I don't think Ohio State fools with him. I mean, I could be wrong. And if they did fool with him, it would be at a absolute bargain basement price. Adam Sparks joins on the other side. We're going to unpack what's going on at camp. And we'll continue on the other side. College football's nuts after this.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Tona B, inviting you to experience the Collins Insurance difference. And what's that? How about multiple top carriers that you can trust? Like Erie, they underwrite our entire Rainier studio and everything around it. Travelers, Hartford, Hanover, Progressive. We do what's right because we care. In today's technology-driven world, maintaining the human touch, Bruce Springsteen, is one of our main focuses. We deliver the best customer service humanly possible. We give you someone that you can actually call or sit in front of. Imagine that. No call centers here. Experience the Collins Insurance difference. Check them out at collinsinsuranceTN.com, and they're Mrs. B approved. Collins Insurance. TB with a few serious questions. You feeling tired? foggy, you gaining weight, or you just don't feel like yourself anymore? Hormone therapy is finally becoming mainstream, but it's truly something my man, Dr. Tom Rogers, has been doing for over 20 years. Dr. Rogers at Performance Medicine wants you to feel your best, and he treats both males and females. So, guys, we can do this as a family. At Performance Medicine, hormone therapy is personalized to you. If you're dealing with hot flashes or mood swings or low energy, decreased libido, fatigue, muscle loss, stubborn weight gain, it might be time to find out what your body really needs. No shame in this game. You can do something about all the above. Performance Medicine offers customized hormone treatment plans based on comprehensive lab testing with options like pellets, creams, patches, oral medications, and injections. The goal is simple. Help you feel like yourself again. Next level. Make your life better. Take it to the higher plane. Visit performancemedicine.net. Schedule your consultation today. You'll feel your best with Performance Medicine.
Big news, Basilio family. Get ready because the 2026 Knoxville real estate market is officially shifting into high gear. All signs are pointing toward a record-breaking year, and the energy across East Tennessee is absolutely electric right now. Whether you've been dreaming of finding that next home, looking to capitalize on your current equity, or ready to dive into the investment world, the timing has never been better. Having a game plan is the key to winning in this fast-paced market, and I'm ready to help. Give me a call, Jennifer Morris, at 865-694-5904, or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Basilio here with the great Chad Stockton of FC Alliance. And Chad, I can hear it in the background, brother. It's World Cup season, and you guys are in the middle of it. Talk to me.
We are excited. Our U9 through U12 trials just kicked off today for our locations in Knoxville and in Johnson City. So we're ready to offer any player top-level competition, top-level training anywhere they want to be in Northeast Tennessee. In our programs, we offer competitive play for anywhere from 9-year-olds to 19-year-olds. We've got two locations. Our location in Knoxville is kind of our home base, and our location up in Johnson City in the Tri-Cities area is our FC Alliance North. Both locations are growing tremendously, and we're excited about what the future holds here at both locations.
Growing the beautiful game in the season of the World Cup. Chad Stockton, how can folks get more information?
Go to our website, FC Alliance or FCAllianceNorth.org. And both locations, we're happy to serve the beginning player or the more experienced player, because what we will promise is the top-level training and top-level leagues that we can play in for all of our players.
Growing the beautiful game in Knoxville and now also in the Tri-Cities. FC Alliance. Thank you, Chad Stockton.
Thanks, buddy.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm gonna hop online and I'm gonna get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
When a dangerous, overgrown, or storm-damaged tree is threatening your home, your car, or your family, don't risk it. Call ECR Total Landscapes, your local tree-cutting experts. From precision tree removal and trimming to emergency storm cleanup, ECR Total Landscapes has the equipment and the experience to get the job done safely and efficiently. Call today to set up your free estimate, 865-384-2012, or just go online to ecrtotallandscapes.com.
The High Noon line of hard seltzers is always a winner and always next level. High Noon vodka seltzers come in 14 flavors with real vodka and real fruit juice. Only 100 calories with no sugar added, and it's gluten-free.
Personally, I'm partial black cherry and pineapple.
14 flavors.
That's as many bad takes as I've got in a week.
In the mood for a kick? Try High Noon vodka iced tea in 6 refreshing flavors,
Including peach and lemon, green tea, and half and half.
Feeling adventurous? Check out High Noon tequila seltzer in 6 refreshing flavors, including my favorite, blood orange. High Noon real vodka, real fruit juice. Live like the sun is always out.
Brought to you by High Noon Spirits Company. Must be 21 and over to enjoy responsibly.
Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good.
Nothing makes you realize how much you rely on your air conditioner like a scorching hot day in East Tennessee. You want more than a technician. You want someone you can trust. Schedule Pipe Wrench's $79 AC tune-up now because the heat is here. Our certified technicians inspect, clean, and fine-tune your HVAC system to help it run efficiently and reliably while reducing the risk of breakdowns when you need it most. And while we're there, we can also recommend ways to improve your indoor air quality for cleaner, healthier air throughout your home. For more than 20 years, homeowners across Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and surrounding communities have trusted Pipe Wrench Home Services for dependable comfort. And with our same-day service guarantee, you won't be left waiting when comfort matters most. Schedule your $79 AC tune-up today at pipewrench.com. Same-day service guaranteed, or the visit is free. Offer valid on standard systems only. Visit pipewrench.com for details.
So I've got some...
here with my buddy, Connexial Kristen.
Hey, Tony. Good to see ya. Connexial builds fleet technology that helps transportation and logistics companies win big. Live GPS, easy ELD and compliance tools, AI dash cameras, and asset tracking, all backed by the #1 U.S. customer support team. Want a better playbook for your operations? Visit Connexial.com/Tony. That's KONEXIAL.com/Tony. Connexial, built for drivers, trusted by fleets, and proud Vol fans.
TB back with you, 865-200-5402. A impromptu discussion has broken out. Now joining us on the High Noon Hotline. And I was so excited. I talked over sweet Connexial Kristen, who I loved and who served all these years. Joshy Boy asked me if he's banned from calling. The answer is no way, man. Are you banned from calling? You're my guy, Joshy Boy. How can you be banned from calling? I'm just having crazy phone issues. I need a 5-minute timeout for jumping the gun there. Celtic Drew is right. Let me bring on the High Noon Hotline now the great Adam Sparks, who joins us. We are a couple days away from what is a pivotal scrimmage. 2 of these could be huge this summer. And I guess depending on how you look at things, but Adam, I bring you in against the backdrop that you were having the phone issues getting into us, and I apologize for that. But
it took me about 5 times.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry, man.
Good to be on.
That's kind of just sort of going on around here these days. Adam Sparks joining. He's on our High Noon Hotline. Shout out to our friends at High Noon. It's High Noon somewhere. It might be here. And Adam, pivotal scrimmage coming up this weekend. I love how salty Rodney Garner was yesterday. before we get to the quarterback stuff, talking about his defensive line. I was sharing with you off the air. Down through the years, we had Rodney on here a bunch, and I would always say to him, man, they always talk about, and this was in the old days, what a great recruiter you are, but they never talk about what a great coach you are. And I always thought that was unfair. But now he's kind of grown into this grandfatherly sort of wizard at his position, and he's finally getting his accolades for developing these guys, right, down through the years.
Yeah, I mean, he's had, I think it's 38 draft picks in 36 years, 36 seasons. I think when you've done it that long, it kind of gives him even more permission to have sort of that, gravelly disposition. I mean, he's only happy when he's not happy. It seems like
Nice.
in terms of coaching guys, really, he's hard on the guys. They understand that when they get here, they understand it even more once he coaches them. You hear players over the years that say, they thought they knew how to play football, and then he informed them that they didn't know anything about the game at all. So he really does break you down and then eventually build you back up. But I think when you have that many draft picks, it sort of gives him the leeway to say, I'm gonna develop the right guys, and somebody's gonna be the cream of the crop. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the 5-star. It can be the 4-star. It can be the 3-star. Somebody's going to come out of the mix, and he knows that's going to happen every year. Every year he's going to have 1 or 2 draft picks. And so you can, when you've got that kind of batting average, you can, really, really be hard on guys because you have a track record of that work.
No question. That's remarkable production. And somehow, he got caught in that era, and I'll say it because I don't care. It is what it is, where you would have the black assistants, and they were the chief recruiters, and they would go get the ball players and yada, yada, yada. And he got sort of branded in that by the folks that cover the game, when in fact, he's such a wonder. And Matt, you were making a point about him. Let's just pause on Garner for a second here, because this is what you just heard Adam quote you is a terrific thing to recruit with if you're Tennessee and you're fighting for a player. And let's say the dollar figures are pretty close, as they are in most of these cases, unless you just buy somebody. You sell the fact that, hey, this guy will develop you. Matt, you were making the point that it's not just the high 5-star guys that he's put in the NFL level.
No, I mean he has his fair share of those, and recruiting plays a part in this, and he's excellent at recruiting. But Matthew Butler a few years ago played every down for that team.
Great example.
I think it was Heupel's first team and got drafted. He just develops guys, sort of like Rick Barnes, and that's what I got when Adam was talking about him, how you kind of hard coach guys and break them down to build them back up. It's kind of like Rick Barnes, where if you can survive it and get through it, you're going to be successful, not just in football, but kind of in life. And that's why I just think when you factor everything in, the longevity, the consistency, I just think Rodney Garner's been the best defensive line coach in kind of the modern era of the SEC, because he's done it at 3 or 4 different stops, and he's just constantly churned out pros. And now he has the pros that he developed. Their kids are now playing for him here at Tennessee, and that's kind of a cool thing too. And that's a great indictment of how good of a coach and kind of person he is.
Is there, Adam, an off the beaten path guy this year that you could look at and go, hey, that person didn't come in here with high accolades but has a chance to play pro football on Tennessee's roster right now?
Tyree Weathersby, if I remember, I think Tyree was a 3-star.
Mm-hmm.
He had the body, the frame when he came out, but he was pretty raw. I remember that first camp he came in, and they thought he was going to be in the mix as a freshman. He had a pretty bad injury. I think it was his hip, and really sidelined him for about a season and a half, maybe close to 2 seasons. He was not 100%. And now he comes into his senior year. I think he's probably going to start at one of the defensive end spots. I mean, Rodney Garner said he's had a pretty good or solid camp, which is that is high praise from Rodney Garner this far through camp, because he didn't hand out a lot of compliments in camp. Let's just say that. And Weathersby, I think, could turn into a pro. I will say the two guys that he believes, and so I believe him, that's been their best D lineman in camp are the two transfers. Xavier Gilliam from Penn State, who's their best D lineman right now, and Jordan Norman, the Tulane transfer, as a edge rusher / strong side defensive end. I think he's going to play a little bit of both. He likes those two guys, and it's a selling point in the portal if you can bring in guys like that, have them for one season, and turn them into NFL players, which is certainly a possibility with both of those guys.
People are talking about and they're tracking this DJ Jacobs recruitment, and somebody tipped me off to the fact, which is true, that he coached his father at Georgia. Like you were saying, I mean, this guy's been around long enough now that, and he just has that kind of aura about him. What I love about him yesterday, he's snapping at reporters. I just answered that question. Our defensive line sucks. These guys are making me mad. And it is like every camp you get that from him. It doesn't matter if he's here, if he's at one of Georgia when they were loaded. It didn't matter where Rodney Garner was. It's always going to be that way at this time of the year. Not happy. Everybody sucks. I love that. I think it's so great.
Yeah, well, where Rodney Garner's standing is because, Tennessee fans worry that, he's going to retire at some point. He's 60 years old.
Yeah.
He has had some health issues. But more so than him retiring, the fear is that somebody else is going to pull him away in the SEC. Right? He's coached at Auburn. He's coached at Georgia. And every offseason or so, you get a little bit of trepidation, like what if Alabama, Georgia, Auburn, whoever comes and tries to pull Rodney Garner away? You can be nervous, but it speaks to him that you're always worried that whoever the best coach in the country is may throw a lot of money at Rodney Garner and pull him away. So it's a credit that that Tennessee has been able to keep him. You mentioned he has the next generation of players. Kedrick Golston, who is a defensive end right now, freshman, who may be in the mix a little bit as a freshman. His dad played for Rodney Garner at Georgia, and then in the NFL for a while.
Yep.
So that's another generation. It's funny that you say like he was a little snippy in the presser yesterday, because Rodney Garner is the opposite of most of the other Tennessee assistants in those settings. Most Tennessee assistants really look for that media availability for a chance to brag about all the players and throw out as many names. There's a couple of assistants over there that we always have the joke of like, what player that is not going to get on the field are they really going to compliment in this presser? And it's the opposite with Rodney. He got a little snippy at the end of the presser yesterday, because he had already said that he was satisfied to some extent with a couple of players. And so when he was asked to compliment other players, he didn't want to compliment them twice. So he really, really did not want to praise players. He wanted to trim them down just a little bit. And so I think that's why that he was given an opportunity to brag on his guys, and that is not what he wanted to do. Usually that's what the assistants like to do.
That was the gal he snapped at when he said, "Hey, look, I just said who I like." I just answered that. Like, we're not going to get into I'm not in the praise business around here, man. So,
yeah, you get the opposite from like a Glenn Ellerby the day before. Glenn Ellerby, and I've known Ellerby forever, but the joke with him is always that he's gonna list off 15 starters. Everybody could start. Everybody could start. These freshmen are great. The guys coming back are great. They've been the best I've ever seen. And with Rodney, it's more of, these guys are terrible, but I'm going to try my best to, just field a team.
Adam, what's up for grabs in the scrimmage this weekend? What are we trying to solve here?
The third wide receiver. Really, I would say the third. I mean, quarterback, obviously, but aside from that, for now, the third and fourth wide receiver. They have gotten at least deeper by one the past couple of years. You know, before we always said they don't rotate receivers, they don't sub, so it's just three guys and that's it. They have gotten to a fourth guy, I would say, the last couple of seasons. So you're really looking at who's going to be the odd man out, at least to start the season. You've got, we've talked about TK Keys, the five-star freshman, and Radarius Jackson and Travis Smith. Those are three guys fighting for that third starting spot. But I think two of the three will be in the mix, let's say, in the Georgia Tech game. So I think it's more about who's the odd man out of those three. That's what I'm interested to see. Because a lot of these, I mean, quarterback is going to be decided in the two scrimmages, but the other positions are going to be decided more so in, those first, let's say, three games, because everybody will play against Furman, everybody will play against Kennesaw State, and, Georgia Tech, you could see, a few more opportunities for guys just because the lineups, the rotations are not going to be set yet. Quarterback is the only one, I think, where you can say the scrimmages are going to absolutely determine who's on the field in the opener.
We talk with Adam Sparks here. He's on our High Noon Hotline, your Tony Basilio show on a Thursday. And some interesting stuff from Adam here. So I can't let this go. I got to apologize to you, man. So back in the spring, you were trying to caution me when GMAC had his bad spring that race for quarterback wasn't over, that these are young quarterbacks, that they grow at different rates, that you can't have rash judgments. And he's come back and has had kind of a different camp. Are you hearing the same thing, that he's had kind of he's better than he was in the spring, basically?
Yeah. I think that's fair. I mean, I think everybody needs to understand that these are two young quarterbacks. So if you hear that a guy is surging or a guy is falling, that's a development from that day, or it may be a little old and it may be from 3 days ago. Mm-hmm. But it's not neither one of these guys are going to have several great reps in a row. They're not going to have consecutive great practices. They're just going to be sort of up and down because they're young quarterbacks. This is not, it's just the nature of not playing. This is not Hendon Hooker 2022. I remember going out to practice in 2022 and they would, right now we see individual drills. That's what reporters are allowed to see the first few periods of practice before they close it up. Back when Hendon was here in 22, we would see a number of team reps because within a few minutes of practice starting, they were already into team reps. Like Hendon would go and he would complete absolutely every pass against the air. And then they would say, okay, let's just skip all that and let's get right into teams. So it was just more advanced. He was consistent. He knew everything that was going on. And that's not the case with these guys. So you're just going to see them sort of go up and down, I think, through the whole process. What's going to determine who the starter is at the beginning of the year are those two scrimmages, one this Saturday, one next Saturday, because that'll be in Neyland. It'll be in game-like situations, and they want to see how the offense functions with each of those guys. They want to see, who can avoid catastrophic mistakes. And I think a lot of it is going to determine, scrimmages, you don't think of it this way, but if you knew what the drive charts were, I think that would determine as much as anything, not completion percentage or anything like that. How did the drive charts go? Does one quarterback lead them on 4 scoring drives and the other one only on 1 scoring drive? Put the stats to the side. How did the offense succeed with that quarterback on the field? I think that's going to determine a lot of it from those two scrimmages.
I think some people are surprised to hear you say that because they think that me talking about how McIntyre's had a pretty good camp, that we're trying to manufacture, like that there's a quarterback battle. How do you respond to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the fear is that if George is the starter, then you could lose Faison. I think that's really the fear. I don't think anybody is against George, but we're in the portal age, so it's not like if George starts, then Faison's going to hang around for a year or two and develop, and then he'll be the starter. That's not what we're in now. Every off season there is free agency. And so the assumption is that Faison has the higher ceiling. Long term, he's the better quarterback. And so you don't want to sacrifice that. Let's say 3 seasons of him, because George ends up being a nose ahead of him for the early part of the season. I think that's more of the fear. It's not against George. It's more the concern that what if Faison transfers because he's not the starter? I still think this probably plays out some in the season. Josh Heupel doesn't want it to be that way, but I think that now here's the interesting thing, and I flipped on this. I probably flipped on this how I've said it on your show. I thought the best thing for everybody would be that you play both of them quite a bit in the Furman game. That let's see them in game-like situations. You play the starter quite a bit, but then you get up big, and maybe the whole second half is the other guy or close to that, and let them run the offense. I thought that's the best way to do it. I'm not so sure anymore, especially if Faison wins the job. If you think that's your guy,
you gotta play
you're
him.
pretty convinced that's your guy.
That's right.
Give him all the reps he needs.
That's right.
Because he needs to be ready for Georgia Tech, and if you're that sure, do it that way, and don't give away valuable reps to the guy who you think is the backup.
The long and short of this is the way as I'm trying to wrap my brain around what's transpiring here and trying to be open-minded to the fact that this could be a legitimate quarterback battle when the entire time I thought it was a fait accompli. So you're kind of telling on yourself. I told on myself earlier, I've never been afraid to tell on myself. I mean, look, when you do what we're doing and you have to deal with these things in real time, and there are all these situations that are before you, and you have to make value judgments and hopefully intelligent value judgments accordingly, you're going to miss some, or you're going to have to alter the way you feel because you can't stay wrong, So I appreciate you saying what you just said. As we visit with Adam Sparks, I'm going to jump Bry and or Matt Dixon in here momentarily, but on this quarterback deal, people also have this, and I think it's a bad conclusion to come to, that if McIntyre were to emerge and win the job right out of camp, that's a terrible, terrible sign for Brandon and this, that. Look, that doesn't mean that he won't finish the year as a starting quarterback and be the guy in 2027. It just means that another guy out of camp had 2 really good scrimmages and won the job, and they will continue to evaluate. I mean, that is kind of how it goes, right? And then one of those guys gets to start against Texas, and depending on what happens there, I mean, this team is very much still everybody in the developmental stage, right?
Yeah, and I think you got to ask yourself, do you want to win? And I don't know if that's going to be Faison or George, but if John and I were going through the game by game the other day, and would Tennessee be favored in this game or that game? And you can, they may be a 7-5 team, but you can also make a case that they're 10-2. You can make a case that Tennessee could be 8-1 in mid-November.
Yikes!
They beat Bama, they lose to Texas, they beat Georgia Tech and Auburn and Arkansas. There are very winnable games in there. If I tell you that you're 8-1 in mid-November with whoever the quarterback is, aren't you going to take that? Do you really care about which one you could lose or keep if you're winning to that extent? So I think we've got to remember that, they're trying to pick the guy that's going to win. And, if Tennessee loses a couple early on because of quarterback play, then switch to the other guy and let it play out. But it is a little strange to me when people hitch their wagon to one guy and they root for that guy when they don't really know if that's the right choice.
You
or
haven't
not.
seen either guy. Yeah.
Yeah, right. I mean, how many of us thought, well, it's got to be Joe Milton, or it's got to be Hooker because Milton could transfer. I mean, just let it play out.
Matt and/or Bry, any thoughts here as we visit with Adam Sparks?
So I just going back to Rodney Garner. So you're saying that he's just a little bit better than James Brumbaugh as a defensive line coach?
By a nose or more. Yeah. I think that's an upgrade. I mean, I don't know who the best defensive line coach in the country is, but if there's a Mount Rushmore, I mean, he's on it. And I don't even know if I'm talking current. I mean, in the last 30 years. They've given him several raises, and he makes $1 million a year now with incentives on top of that.
Wow.
And he's probably underpaid.
He's pretty damn good. Matt, do you have anything for Adam as we talk about this quarterback battle? Because Matt's of the school that it's already settled, or close to already settled. And I'm borderline there, but I'm being pulled back into the boat a little bit, I think, on that. I'm being pulled back into, hey, there's something on the line Saturday.
Tennessee likes that, by the way. Tennessee.
Oh,
likes
I know
that.
they do. I know they want that. Yeah.
If you look at their Twitter, and they put out something last night that
Yeah.
I think dialed in, and it was a video of each of those two quarterbacks.
Yes.
They
Sure.
love that.
Sure.
And I talked to George at Media Day right when camp started, and I asked him about the competition. And he said, the first thing he said to me was, well, this has played out a lot of different ways over the last few years. It can go one way, but then it switches to the other. And he was obviously referencing 2021 with Milton and Hooker, which told me that that's what the coaches are telling him to prepare him for the possibility that if he were to lose the job, that he would be fully engaged because he may be Hendon Hooker. He may be the guy that gets the starting job after the season starts. So you can see how they're prepping these guys to think that it is as close as it possibly can be. And he's in there. They want the fan base to also think that.
Hey, Adam, how many defensive linemen are in Tennessee's rotation right now, legitimately in that rotation?
3 guys at end, probably, or edge rusher. 4 guys at tackle, and 7, I guess. I mean, it really depends on, because I don't know how if Rodney's going to do the same thing with this group that he did with Tim Banks' defense, where he would rotate as many guys as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to think he will, but Jim Knowles likes guys to be specialized in some ways, but then others he asks them to do more than one thing. For example, Jordan Norman got here, the Tulane transfer, who they think is their best end or edge rusher right now. He got here at 249 pounds, which is the size of James Pierce and Joshua Josephs. That's been a typical edge rusher for Tennessee the last few years. The thin, trim, speed guy off the edge. Well, he's not 249 now; he's 265, which is more of the size of Tyree Weathersby, a strong side defensive end. So it tells you right there that they want bigger ends, they want bigger edge rushers, and they want guys to be able to play off of the end both sides. So that shows you already there's some differences between how Tim Banks saw those positions versus how Jim Knowles sees them. It makes it a little harder to figure how deep they could go.
What's their battle for running back 2 right now look like? Gordon or Morris?
I heard going into camp that I heard from one party going into camp that it was Javin Gordon. It was the transfer, and we saw him. Some of the spring, I thought he picked it up better than other transfers usually do, the pace of things and the playbook and all that. But then once we got into camp, I asked some different people around the team, and they told me the opposite. They said, yeah, it is close. They do like Gordon, but they like DeJuan Morris's sort of his versatility, his burst. Javin Gordon is more of a one cut and go guy, which, I mean, that's a little bit of what Deshaun Bishop is, one cut and go, and that works well in Tennessee's offense. But that doesn't have as much of a big play ability. DeJuan Morris has more wiggle in the open field. That's why he's working at a punt returner right now too. So that's sort of the question. Do you want a guy that's very interchangeable with Deshaun Bishop, or do you want more of a change of pace? The easy answer is that probably both of them play. Because as much as we see Deshaun and we think he's really good, he's all SEC 1,000-yard rusher, typically they've had to go to a third guy because of injury or rotation or whatever. So I think both of them will get a shot.
We're about to see the first scrimmage of the summer, setting things up. Who from the wide receiving corps explodes this year? We saw that tremendous season that was turned in by another Tulane transfer last year, parlayed that into an NFL opportunity. Who does it this time around?
Well, it depends on what type of receiver. If it's so, Travis Smith is all those guys are pretty long. Travis Smith is more of the athletic, big play, go up and get the ball type. Maybe some of what we saw from Chris Brazzell last year, the big athletic catches, high point catches. So if it's a big play guy, maybe it ends up being him. I think they have felt like Radarius Jackson had a little more of the edge because he's very physical, very, very physical. I remember Kelsey Pope back in spring said that Radarius Jackson reminded him of receivers back when it was legal to do anything, as he said, where you could just fight with a corner out there and nobody cared. So they've really been on their guys, their receivers, to be more physical, to get through coverage, to get off of the line. They like Deshaun Brain a lot at tight end because he runs through contact, and that's what Radarius Jackson does. So I would give him a little bit of an edge, but like I said, they'll play four guys, and so we'll see more in the game. If TK Keys has, a 60-yard touchdown catch against Georgia Tech, but nothing else, is he the breakout guy? Could be, You remember Javonte Payton
Sure.
in 21 didn't really have that many catches, but he led the SEC in yards per catch. And so
First
you
quarter
can be
touchdown.
you can be a big play guy, and that be it.
Matt, jump in. Any thoughts here as we get ready for that first scrimmage with the great Adam Sparks?
Javonte Payton had like 7 or 8 first quarter touchdowns, usually on those opening drives or two, in 21. So, but I was just going to ask Adam, he's talking about Jim Knowles and some of that, if there's anything else that he's picked up on just kind of watching Knowles around the practice field that's worth mentioning, how he coaches his team, what he does during practice, just anything, or what he's even said to the media. Just what are your takeaways from watching Jim Knowles kind of coach some ball?
He's a very mad scientist. He's very quiet. He walks around on his own. He doesn't coach a position. You would see Tim Banks a lot of times. He would coach safeties, but then I think the last year he didn't really coach a position that much, but he would step in as position coach. I don't see that from Knowles. Knowles has his hands behind his back, walking around. He's looking at things very specific, and nobody knows what those things are. So if he was a young coach doing that, you would think this guy is like his play acting. He's pretending to be a really smart guy. But since he's got all this track record, there are things working in his head that the rest of us just don't know what it is. He has said before that he is looking for specific skill sets in specific players. So again, it gets back to that specialized thing. He really, really thinks deeply in game prep about a specific play, a specific player fits in a specific way, and he's going around looking for those things. He reminds me a little bit of I covered Tony Franklin, a really good offensive coordinator. Was at a bunch of different places.
I love him.
But I covered him at Middle Tennessee many years ago, and they were one of the leaders that year in offense. And he would go to his office, shut the door, turn down the blinds, and would be in there for like 6-7 hours, and then would come out and tell the assistant coaches, "This is what we're doing." I get the same feel out of Jim Knowles. You just let him do what he's doing.
Tony Franklin, another guy we used to have on the show a bunch, one of the all-time great characters. He came off that How Mummy staff. He used to have like some crazy website, crazy name. Do you remember, Adam, what his website?
The System.
And he was nuts. And he was an all-time character. I don't know where he is these days, but man, what a funny guy, and a damn good tactician in terms of what he wanted to do and knowing
And
what he wanted to do.
he once told me during a practice, he walked over, and I had brought my daughter, who that sounded like a toddler, and he walked over during practice, during team drills, they're scrimmaging, and he said, "Adam, could you make sure to let me know if you bring your daughter, and I'll clean up my language for that practice." It's just a kooky thing to say.
He's the best, man. I love that guy.
Yeah.
So on the way out, is this team better than we think they are, worse, or right about kind of what we think they are from your assessment?
I mean, it comes down to quarterback play. It really does. But the schedule sets up that Tennessee could be not as Tennessee could have a better record than what their team is. I know we think of it the opposite way. Last year we said the schedule soft, so they could be just average and still have a good record. I still think there's opportunities there to have a very good record, but not really be a fully developed team. Because how hard is Arkansas to beat? Could be. It's a road game, maybe. Georgia Tech, South Carolina, Auburn. I mean, when you walk through the schedule one game at a time, you can see a lot of wins in there. The thing is just the grueling nature of the schedule. Going to the 9-game conference schedule could hurt a team like Tennessee more than it does other teams, because going to a 9-game conference schedule, the teams that suffer are the ones that sort of are on that razor's edge.
Yes.
And, just one bad Saturday and they could lose. And that's a team like Tennessee that, especially with Josh Heupel's, history of losing one road game every year that you thought he was going to win. A team like Georgia, that doesn't happen to. Georgia escapes those games. Teams like Tennessee don't. So that's why you worry about the non-conference games, that Tennessee could lose one of these that you would expect them to win. But week to week, I can see them being better record than we think they're going to be.
Kirby has patented that sleepwalking for 3.5 quarters, waking up for the final 11 minutes and beating somebody, kicking a field goal. That's kind of who they are. But Adam, I really appreciate you. I appreciate you giving us so much time today. It's been great talking this out with you. And the huge takeaway here, and put a pin in this, is that the quarterback battle in your mind is real. The 2 scrimmages coming up are extremely important, and this thing is very much in play.
Yes, very much so, and I still think it's going to be who finishes the Georgia Tech game. That's your starter for the stretch run.
Thank you, my man. Good talking to you.
Good to be on. We'll see you.
The great Adam Sparks, who appeared on your High Noon hotline. Look, it's High Noon somewhere. The sun's up. The bottom line is, High Noon, you're going to be toasting one of these quarterbacks. Do you believe it's real? Do you believe in love? Do you believe it's true? And did Adam Sparks make you believe it too? Is there really a quarterback battle? Or is this some kind of ruse concocted by those on the inside to make this thing look like, hey, it's really interesting, and people are going to freak out if George McIntyre is named the starter. Freak. And they're going to point people like me and me, who said, hey, this thing, I never said it was 100% decided, because I don't trust football coaches. Football coaches, head coaches of all shapes and sizes, the winners, the losers, and those in between, are always going to trust the more experienced guy, and they don't want to throw true freshmen out there. How many true freshmen play to begin the season? The answer is almost none to start a year. Not during the year, but to start a year. Not during a year. It's two different things. That's why I don't freak out even if they name McIntyre the starter. It doesn't mean it's final. Shout out to our friends at High Noon. 14 flavors. Real vodka, real fruit juice, only 100 calories. No sugar added, gluten-free. Stock up. because it's football season and it's time to get ready. It's time to get serious. Hey, Matt, do you believe it's real? Do you believe in love? Do you believe this quarterback battle's real?
Yeah, I think so. We've talked about it. I thought McIntyre had the edge going into the spring. I think Faison has the edge going into fall, which tells you that it is fairly close. And I still would probably lean Faison, even though that he is kind of a true freshman. But he's a true freshman that was here in January, which is different than what it used to be with freshmen. And I don't really care which one it is. I just want to win, like beat Georgia Tech, be in position to beat Texas. Like I don't care who the quarterback is. If you can win some games, my only thing is I think more than likely Faison is your starting quarterback by some point in the season. I feel pretty confident in that. I don't know exactly when.
Yeah, you're with me.
Spring, I thought it was going to be game one, but maybe it won't be.
Me too. That's where I'm at right now. I got pulled back in. Look, when I had my people reach out to me over the weekend, I'm driving, Tony, you won't believe this, but the McIntyre guys playing pretty well. And I was like, well, what? Well, that's kind of absurd. Sort of gave up on him. But to Adam's point, these guys are young. McIntyre has a year on Brandon, and they're going to go like this. Look, those guys are going to yo-yo. They just are. And they're going to go, which guy do I play? 6'7", 6. I mean, And if that becomes the case, then you're going to lean toward the guy that's been on your campus longer. You just are. Unless the other guy gets out there in the next couple scrimmages and turns the ball over, like Adam said. And they're going to put him in pressure spots. And they're going to play the thing in Neyland Stadium, both of them. I mean, hell, I would love to have eyes on that. I would love to see those kids compete. That'd be really interesting. You put those, hey, Matt, if you put those, here's a good question. If you put those scrimmages on pay-per-view, right, and you charge $5 a shot, how many people would look at them?
You'd have a ton. You'd get a lot of that. That'd be a lot of
$5
that Danny White could raise.
How many sheep would pay $5? I would. You would. Brian would. I wonder how much money across Vol Nation. You get 100,000 buys at $5 a shot.
They would charge more than $5, I'm sure.
What are you thinking? 100,000 buys? I'm being serious now. A couple 100,000 buys at $5 a shot?
You'd have a few people that illegally stream it that you'd find a way to watch, Tone.
Well,
There'd be some ball questers would have an illegal stream on Twitch or something.
Pirating a Tennessee practice. I mean,
it's a scrimmage, not a practice.
I'm sorry.
Scrimmage.
My bad.
Big difference there, Tone.
My bad.
Big difference
Big difference. You gave me an idea, Matt. In the old Periscope days, maybe you go in there, you sneak into the stadium, you set up a camera way before anybody gets in there, and you just run it on Periscope. And then you kind of send a link out once they start, and it's just this camera, this opaque camera in the top. I mean, I tell you what, I'm starting
Fly
to
a
think.
drone over the stadium.
I don't know if we've talked ourselves into this, but Adam Sparks has no reason on your High Noon Hotline to come in here today and say the thing's a battle. He got no reason to say it if he doesn't believe it. I'm starting to think it's a little real than even I thought it was at the beginning of the week when I was talking about. And what I did is I just said, hey, McIntyre's showing a pulse, which is more than we thought. Which is more than apparently Ainge is saying that this thing feels kind of real to him. Which I guess is reason to take it more seriously or not, depending on depending on that guy. Anyway, the whole thing is just, hey, it comes down to this for me. And then I want to get your phone calls on the other side. What it comes down to for me is just the way football coaches think. I'm a head coach in the Southeastern Conference that is a true freshman. And I'm with Matt. I grow him to get the job by the middle of the year, whatever, or the end of the year, whatever. But if the McIntyre guy gets the job and you go, like Adam said, 7-1, guess what? He's your quarterback. He's your quarterback. And I don't care. Like, for me, like I told you before, I'm done with worshiping or worrying about a quarterback till I see him playing a football game. To me, these guys are all suspects. They're not prospects. That said, I do hear great things about the Brandon guy. And I hear he's a very serious kid. And I hear he's a really good teammate. And I doubt he would take it the wrong way. But we'll get some calls in right after this. You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land? Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contracting. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting. He doesn't always drink beer, but when he does, he definitely prefers Dos Equis. That's right. The most interesting man in the world has returned, and he's more interesting than ever before. His phone is addicted to him. All of his teeth, all are wisdom teeth. So raise a Dos Equis to the man, the myth, the legend. And remember, stay thirsty, my friends. Dos Equis, enjoy responsibly. 2026 Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Chilio here, and you know my friends at Carnes Motor Company started with a dream over a quarter century ago. I met Rob and Brian back when I still had hair, and they were working at a huge dealership in West Knoxville. But they told me back then they wanted to sell cars on their terms, and I wanted to do radio on my terms. Their terms, just like my terms, are ultimately your terms. In both cases, you're the winner. A Car Guru's National Award winner with a 5-star rating on all sites, just like our Vols. Everything about buying a car from Carnes Motor Company is no hassle. They specialize in high-quality pre-owned vehicles between the $5,000 to $25,000 range. And if you need to sell a car, they'll either buy your car or they'll help you sell it. Carnes Motor Company also has a top-notch service department. Therefore, every vehicle is rigorously inspected and serviced prior to delivery. So you're guaranteed to get a quality pre-owned vehicle every time. If you need a place for service, they've got you covered. Come be a part of the Carnes Motor Company family and tell them you heard about it from me. Online at carnesmotor.com. Oak Ridge Highway, 1 mile past the Carnes light. Carnes Motor Company. Like our 2026 football Vols, score a T3TD every time with T3 Vodka, Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. Right here, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Quality around here isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. And T3's filtered 10 times. 80 proof of vodka delivering a smoothness unmatched. This dedication to excellence has earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades, like a 5-time gold medal award-winning vodka and your SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner as well. Whether you're sipping it neat, on the rocks, mixing your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka, your choice for a premium award-winning experience. Be like Maury Hanks. Score a T3 TD. Ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, and score a T3 TD all 2026 long. Tennessee's Premium Vodka. T3, Tennessee's Premium Vodka. Distributed by Empire Distributors of Tennessee.
Big news, Basilio family. Get ready because the 2026 Knoxville real estate market is officially shifting into high gear. All signs are pointing toward a record-breaking year, and the energy across East Tennessee is absolutely electric right now. Whether you've been dreaming of finding that next home, looking to capitalize on your current equity, or ready to dive into the investment world, the timing has never been better. Having a game plan is the key to winning in this fast-paced market, and I'm ready to help. Give me a call, Jennifer Morris, at 865-694-5904, or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Basilio here with the great Chad Stockton of FC Alliance. And Chad, I can hear it in the background, brother. It's World Cup season, and you guys are in the middle of it. Talk to me.
We are excited. Our U9 through U12 trials just kicked off today for our locations in Knoxville and in Johnson City. So we're ready to offer any player top-level competition, top-level training anywhere they want to be in Northeast Tennessee. In our programs, we offer competitive play for anywhere from 9-year-olds to 19-year-olds. We've got two locations. Our location in Knoxville is kind of our home base, and our location up in Johnson City in the Tri-Cities area is our FC Alliance North. Both locations are growing tremendously, and we're excited about what the future holds here at both locations.
Growing the beautiful game in the season of the World Cup. Chad Stockton, how can folks get more information?
Go to our website, FC Alliance or FCAllianceNorth.org. And both locations, we're happy to serve the beginning player or the more experienced player, because what we will promise is the top-level training and top-level leagues that we can play in for all of our players.
Growing the beautiful game in Knoxville and now also in the Tri-Cities. FC Alliance. Thank you, Chad Stockton.
Thanks, buddy.
Hey, it's Alex Madera, Utility with your Knoxville Smokies. The stadium is transformed into Knox Vegas, and it's Thirsty Thursday. Half off draft beers. Hope to see you tonight at the ballpark.
TB here for Cedar Bluff Plumbing, a live and local company that's been serving our area for over 32 years and counting, because every customer counts, and I mean no job is too small. Cedar Bluff Plumbing just voted #1 by City View magazine because multiple plumbing experts are on call to serve all your plumbing needs. Chances are there'll be a plumber in your area when you call, and they won't send some salesman to your house. You're going to get a high character, trustworthy, highly trained plumber who will serve you. Not like some of these guys that look like they came off the set of America's Most Wanted. Cedar Bluff Plumbing is Basilio tested and approved and will go the extra mile for you because Chucky Mack is a servant of the people and my consigliere to the throne. Celebrating over 32 years of serving living volunteers. Cedar Bluff Plumbing. Call 588-4448. That's 588-4448. Cedar Bluff Plumbing. Say it loud and say it proud. We are heading for another high noon overtime. It'll be just right around the corner where we're doing your Garza Law overtime, and that's going to be absolutely next level. And who will the starting quarterback be? I'm starting to think that Adam Sparks might be onto something, that thing's really in play, which is a really strange thing to say out loud, but hey, man, weirder things have happened. Like, look at Jaden Daniels in LSU, where we started today's show. In the meantime, we'll get some calls in our overtime. Here is the playbook with William Pattison.
5.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
It's high
noon somewhere. Sun's up.
And it's time for another high noon overtime.
The place where we kick back, pop a top, and really get to the bottom of it.
Presented by High Noon Hard Seltzer.
Made with real vodka and real fruit juice. Only 100 calories with no sugar added and it's gluten-free.
Live like the sun is always out.
And now, it's time for High Noon Overtime.
TB back with you. Hey, Bri, you think we ought to get the phone lines fixed, or do you like these content-heavy shows better, Bri? Versus
I think we'll have to get the phone lines fixed by. We'll have to get the phone lines fixed here soon, I think.
Yeah.
Because there'll be some reaction to the scrimmage, I'm sure.
I agree with that. 865-200-5402. If you want to get in the hunt and in the mix with us. We're talking about the Jaden Daniels thing during the break. I want Matt to get into that. Also, hot takes. Matt's got a couple. I'm going to tell you right now, I want somebody from another league to win the national championship rather than the big in the SEC. It's obnoxious. It's obnoxious. We're going to control the sport. We're going to decide how many teams. We're going to get in the way of the legislation. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. I mean, stop. Let's go to the phones. We'll get as many people in here as humanly possible. And by the way, you heard Adam Sparks say that this is a quarterback battle. Now, do you believe it? Do you not believe it? I don't know what I believe. Because the whole time was thinking they were just going to go with Brandon, but then I couldn't lock in on that because he's a true freshman. I do want to say one thing before we go to the phones. I think it's a real dick move, and I do mean dick move, of fans to decide, I want this guy over this guy when you've never seen either guy. You don't know anything about either guy. You've never seen either guy. And you draw such a line in the sand that you're going to root against one kid so that the other one, you want the other one to fail so that the other kid gets the job. I don't understand that level of fandom. I never have. I don't get that. Rooting against somebody on your team. Both these guys have worked very hard. And I just think it's a dick move to cheer against one over the other when you don't know beans from buckshot about either guy. Matt, can I say that among friends here in Rocky Top? Can I say that, Matt?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I kind of agree with you. Yeah. It's odd that when you root for players over the program, I've always kind of thought, especially and the quarterback thing can get so decisive and it divides up locker rooms too. I mean, you see, like, it's a legit thing that happens, but it's just odd when fans do it and it just becomes arguments on, especially now in this social media era. I mean, we just want to win. Like, I think at the end of the day, we all just want to win, right? I mean, it shouldn't matter who the quarterback is, whichever one wins.
Back to our phones we go. Hello, welcome in. You're on the air.
What's up, Tony V? This is Judd.
Hey, Juddy, welcome in.
Welcome back home, buddy.
Hey, great to hear your voice, my man.
Hey, of course, as I always preface, I'm not a football aficionado. Like, I watch football until basketball tips off, and I'm pretty much done with it. However, the folks that think since McIntyre's been on campus longer, if it's a dead heat, he should start, I've kind of got the opposite view, and I'll say why. You're a track coach. You've got one spot left to fill on your roster. So you put two kids in the 100-meter dash, and you give one of them a 20-yard head start, and they both finish dead heat tied. Which is the better track star?
Yeah, but you're not looking to fill up. You're looking to put somebody in the most important position possible. That's what's unique about the quarterback situation.
Okay, so the most important part of a 4x100 relay is the anchor. Which of those kids are you putting an anchor?
But they're always afraid to go with the less experienced guy.
Well, I'll go back to my father years ago, back when Cutcliffe, I think he was in his third year as OC for Fulmer.
Yep.
He had a luncheon, and Cutcliffe was the guest speaker.
Yep.
And here's the comment Cutcliffe made, that coaches, sometimes they do that, they don't even know that they're doing it, but sometimes they do it on purpose. When they have an agenda and they have a guy that they need to start, they will script practice to do what he does well to make sure he shows out.
Yeah, I asked.
So how all of a sudden Jordan McIntyre is behind Faison Brandon, but all of a sudden the last few practices he's in a dead heat. Does Heupel even know he's doing it?
Matt, how do you answer that? They might be trying to create a competition. Yeah,
I've always wondered how often stuff like that goes on, because you can certainly, and especially with football, you can script practices, whether it's for a quarterback or maybe you want your defensive line to look good, or you want your receivers to have a good day. Like, I've always wondered how often stuff like that goes on. It's an intriguing question. I don't have the answer to it, but it certainly could go on. And even further, to Judd's point, the coaches might not even be doing it intentionally, which is a really interesting thought.
I just think if Faison showed up, he's been here a year. McIntyre's been here. First of all, McIntyre still, poor guy, does not have an SEC body at all. Not even close. If they're in a dead heat, you have to start Brandon. Yeah, I don't see how there's a choice. Now I know quarterback is primarily 90% decision making, and McIntyre can get the ball where it needs to be. But he's one busted offensive line assignment away from being done for the year. I mean, the kid, he's skinnier than, well, I don't know if he's skinnier than I am, but he's pretty dang close.
He's a pretty thin guy, yeah. He just has one of those frames. He's just not going to gain weight till he's like 45. You know some of those people. So do I.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
And then they put it on, brother. And then they put it on.
I don't know. I think since McIntyre's been here a year longer, and now McIntyre is catching up to him, so to speak. I don't have any idea. I'm just going on conjecture because I don't have any access to practice. And actually, I think none of us do. So we're just hearing conjecture. But if they're even remotely close, I think you have to start Brandon. I don't know if I like this new side of Heupel where he's gotten a little bit more salty with the media.
Yes.
But we'll see if Heupel is true to his word and he's got the courage to start a freshman over a guy that's been here over a sophomore. I don't know.
Yeah, you're like me. These coaches, most of them are risk-averse people, man. Just kind of how they are. That's the one reason why I would never say, hey, Brandon's your starter, I kept saying, yeah, McIntyre's got to really come into the summer and make it a horse race, and he has. So I guess you give him credit for that, right? I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, unless practices are scripted, which none of us know. But Cutcliffe, I heard it out of his own mouth that coaches do it all the time, and some of them don't even know they're doing it, but they've got an agenda, and they will start scripting practice. So this was 90. When was that luncheon? It was mid to early 90s. I forget when, 93, 94.
That might have been right around the time of the whole Stuart Manning debacle, which I saw two people almost get physical over that thing, like a fist fight over the I was telling Matt about that. And that's why I just think, and then when Manning would go into a game, people would be like cheering against him because they wanted Stewart. And then when Stewart would go in the game, they'd be cheering for him over Manning or cheering against him because they wanted Manning. It's like, look, well, I'm wearing my Phillies cap right now. And when somebody goes to the mound and it's pitching for you, you root for the pitcher on the mound. You don't cheer for them to get rocked. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Hey, well, I'll fully admit, man. Back in the day, I was, I'm exactly 1 week older than Peyton Manning, and I was hardcore in the Brandon Stewart camp back in the day.
There you
Big
go.
Time.
And you remember that, like it was a physical thing among our fan base, and I just think, and these days you've got the social media aspect of it, and I just call it a dick move. If you're out there cheering against one of these kids, there's no other way to say that. I'm sorry. I know that sounds glib or it sounds locker roomish. It's just low rent. I mean, it just is.
Yeah, I don't get cheering against the kids. I'll cheer against the coaches making dumb decisions.
Sure.
But
coaches can aggravate you. Sure.
I don't understand the cheering against the kids. Whether they play or not, that's not really entirely up to them.
No, and look, when a quarterback plays in this era, and they're maddening like Club Gitmo was, and you want to crack on them because they can't count, they don't see the blitz over there, and they just snap the ball and take a beating. It's like, whatever.
Well, looking forward to whatever plays out. And on the way out, one of my clients who's got access to Pratt, his favorite player is Harrelson.
He's a great player.
He likes Juke, but his favorite player is Harrelson. He says that kid can get to the rim anytime he wants.
Yeah, we had a pretty extensive basketball report a couple days back on the blog, and the top 4 on that team have really separated themselves.
Well, looking forward to it. Well, thank you. Good you're home, Tony, and we'll see you around the block, buddy.
Thank you. John Adams Snipe just said that we're going to find out that GMAC has an Ozempic NIL. I mean, these people are simpletons, Matt. Matt, the whole cheering against a guy, though, really does piss me off when they're both playing for your team and wearing your uniform. I get that we love recruiting, and I'm not saying, the thing with Brandon, it's like, yeah, he's a 5-star player, and it doesn't mean that he's not going to be your starting quarterback if he doesn't win the job. And I don't know whether he's going to win the job or not. But to root against GMAC it's a dick move. I'm sorry. I didn't do it. And I won't do it, by the way. It's a dick move.
Odds are you're probably going to have to use both of them at some point anyway.
Yeah. But let's go back to the phones. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony, I'd like to echo Jughead's comment about you being back safely. We're all happy about that.
Thank you. We love old Jughead. Thank you.
Oh, I'm
Refalytics Jughead. He has a new name, Bri. Refalytics Jughead.
Yeah. I always enjoy his calls, though. He's my boy. Anyways, I got a couple things I wanted to talk about this, and I want to get to Jaden in a second. But this quarterback issue, I don't have a problem with either one of those guys being in there. Do you recall last year when he got into some of the games, like he looked better than the other guy who was horrible and transferred out, and I can't even remember who that was now. But he looked qualified. He had a nice arm. The only thing is he's skinny. Is that it? I mean, is his play call, is his executing the play off? What's the issue with him that nobody likes?
Matt, can you speak to that? Why is he not getting the rub from the fans?
Or is it just Brandon Stewart? Or Brandon Stewart. Faison, is it just because he's a 5-star or no?
I think it's more Faison's the 5-star with the unlimited upside, and fans always look at potential, whereas coaches always kind of look at what the floor is for players, especially at a position like quarterback where it's the game basically relies on their decision making. I think coaches only view that from maybe a floor standpoint, where the fans are always looking for the ceiling.
Dare I say this? Could it be the Vanderbilt connection? Could that be part of it?
I don't know.
How is it? Explain there, Brian. I'm a little slow on what's the connection?
McIntyre's, I think, father played for Vanderbilt, was a good quarterback there. And now, with the way the Vanderbilt rivalry has kind of gotten heated here lately, especially with Pavia and all that, it's just kind of, you think about it and it just kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
Well, it'd be
but if the kid can really play,
went,
it doesn't matter. It won't matter.
Yeah.
If he went to Vandy and beat him, that'd be great.
Well, that's the point. It's like, well, I don't know what we want. And by the way, the Merklinger guy last year, that poor guy couldn't play in the first, and that's who you're talking about. And he's where is he now? We talked about that yesterday. He's like at Connecticut or somewhere.
Connecticut, I think.
Good for him.
Wow.
By the way, his grandfather was the head coach at Vanderbilt for a while. Started Watson Brown in the business.
An interesting connection. just to touch on Jaden Daniels, that's my boy now, Tony. Don't slam my Redskin.
Oh, because you're a
quarterback
Redskin,
too
yeah.
fast.
I mean, well, what he's done with his, I don't even say alma mater, but what he's done with the place where he won a Heisman Trophy is embarrassing. And he looks like a diva and a moron. He didn't even win there.
He did win a Heisman Trophy. And
He didn't win. Look, this is not about winning some damn trophy.
Could there be other stuff going on behind the scenes that we're not privy to?
Yeah, he's a moron and a prima donna. Yeah, he's a moron and a prima donna.
He's
That's
such a nice young man, Tony.
Well, I mean, you tell me if the story's true,
right?
And they're not allowed to use his name, image, and likeness because he's upset that somebody else is wearing his jersey. Go ahead. You're a Redskin fan or a Commando fan. Go ahead and color that for me. Go ahead.
Well, I'm thinking there's got to be more to it than that because that does sound pretty shallow. I agree. You're right. That is shallow. But I think there's more to that story.
Or, Matt, is it part and parcel of this era we're living in where these guys all want it one way?
There has to be something else there because it's just a weird thing to have pop up and to be an issue right now.
People are saying his mother's a nut job. Maybe his mother is the one that kind of dug this thing up. That's why I'm separating Nico from Nico's father. Big Nick, but maybe his mom. Maybe it is the fact that his mother's nuts. Maybe that's what's going on.
Well, I just hope that the Skins can give you boys there in Philly a run for your money.
Yep, your Skins.
And we're getting, they got the arrow now on the helmet. They're starting to come back around to where they should have been years ago and never should have left.
Oh, you think they're slowly phasing that back in? Remnants of that?
Yeah, they've got an arrow now on the helmet.
It was one of the great logos in all of sports, man. One of the great logos in all of sports.
Yeah, 100%.
Thank you, my man.
100%. All right,
I think the backstory, too, people have been saying this, is that Brian Kelly promised him nobody else would wear his number. I mean, coaches promise things all the time. Fulmer used to promise people during recruiting that they would get to return the first kick.
How do you think this is something Lane Kiffin's likes to deal with right now?
Well, of course, Lane Kiffin could care less. That's the point. It's a previous regime.
This seems like the perfect situation for Lane Kiffin to be the head coach of. A former player having beef with his name, image, and likeness and his replica Heisman in their locker room. Lane Kiffin's the perfect coach to have to deal with that.
To the phones we go. Maybe it'll end up with Kiffin in a Twitter fight with his mother, if that's what's going on here. Kiffin's diversity advisor said Kiffin supposedly chatting with Daniels trying to work something out, according to Matt Mascana. And he writes, LOL. Back to the phones we go. Yeah. I do have an LSU helmet in the background. That's correct. That I got in 2001 when I snuck in with my lovely bride to some lunch that people paid money to get into, and I won a door prize, Matt, and kept it. Do you blame me, Matt? When you get into an event for free and you win a door prize and you keep it.
2001?
Yes. And I've kept it all that time.
What happened in December of that year? No, that thing might be the bad juju for Tennessee football.
You mean that helmet?
Yeah.
Back to the fun. Never crossed my mind.
College football changed that December night in Atlanta.
Back
to the worst.
Back to the phones we go.
It might be because you snuck into some dinner and won a mini helmet.
Back to the phones we go. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tom. Rusty. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Rusty. Welcome in.
You didn't pop for Dixie, man. Dixie was perfect, spot on, and it was such a good line that Lane being the perfect coach for that situation.
Maybe it went over my head. Lay it on me.
He said, for a this kind of situation going on being what it is, is there anybody better to be the coach dealing with this situation for the stupidity of it all? And whoever said he's going to get into a beef with his mom, with Daniel's mom, no way. I've seen Daniel's mom. She's still attractive. No way Lane is burning that bridge.
Go! Let's go.
And I'm with you on people picking a side and wanting one guy to win jobs and all that. There was somebody a few years ago during I guess it was Hooker and Joe and whoever else, Harrison Bailey. This guy, I guess, was from Athens, Georgia. No, not Athens, Georgia. Whatever the town in Marietta, I guess, where Harrison Bailey played. And this guy was just, Harrison Bailey's winning the job, and I'm like, dude, we want the best guy who gives us the best chance to win, who gives a crap what their name is and where they played high school ball. Just the best guy to win. That gives us a chance to win. But I think Judd's right. If they're even, and Faison has the higher long-term upside, athleticism, we don't want Joey to come back because this offense needs somebody with special legs to make it go at the highest level, and Joey's legs aren't good enough. Well, if Joey's legs aren't good enough, I don't think George's are either. So if they're even in running the offense, processing, decision-making, arm, and one's a year younger, then you should go with Faison because his legs are an element that aren't on the other guy at the same level, I guess is what I'm saying. And he's younger. And if you play George, the odds are you don't have Faison in 2027.
Not to start the season, Rusty. Not to start you could still start him and him be your quarterback. You just tell him, hey,
yeah. I mean,
you're not ready yet, man.
I mean, sorry. If George is ready to go for 3 or 4 games and then it's Faison, then you don't have a transfer situation. I'm just saying, if they're even or close, very similar at the end of fall camp, you would go with the guy who's a year younger and the guy who has an element to the game that the other one doesn't have.
I think that the fact that the other quarterback, in McIntyre's case here, he's the other quarterback, has shown life, tells me that I can, and I ran this by Watson Brown. I'm running my full package now. I'm letting that freshman run. I'm letting him run against Georgia Tech. I'm turning him loose against Texas. I'm getting him out on the edge. I'm letting him, because I know that I've got a guy behind him that can play. That's good news.
Yeah, we want both guys to be really good. The truth is, we would have liked for Brandon Stewart not to have transferred at the end of his and Peyton's freshman year.
Yes.
Both of them were good players. Peyton was going to win the job, but it would have been nice to have Brandon Stewart as the backup just in case.
Yep, and that was in that era.
Having both of them,
that was in that era.
Both of them be great. Yeah, right. I'm all for George pushing. If George isn't pushing, then Faison gets to rest on his laurels, and we don't want that.
So it's very interesting.
It's a very, very good thing that both of them are playing well.
Do you believe it? Do you believe it's a quarterback battle, Rusty, or have you come to that conclusion, or are you still in the camp that this is just media stuff?
No. You have 1,000 sources. I have one pretty daggone good one that sees every minute of practice. It's a quarterback battle. Faison's playing very, very well. George has caught up to where Faison was. It's pretty similar in what they're getting out of each of them in practice, but they're wearing red jerseys and nobody gets to touch them. Who plays better whenever somebody gets to touch you? That really matters a whole lot. Which guy can take off running and all you can do is get a fingertip on him and the other guy can't? And if you're wearing a red jersey, that doesn't come into play in practice. That's the reason Dobbs never looked good in practice. That's the reason Joe Milton won the job over Hooker. So that's a factor that we can't examine. And like you said, I think you asked Watson the other day, and you're dead on. Should we let them, maybe in one of these scrimmages, go a little bit live. Don't take them to the ground and pile on, but they can be grabbed by the quarterback and hold on. Thud, I think they call it thud whenever you can just get hit, but you can't get tackled. Do we need a little bit of that so we can actually see which one functions in real 11-on-11 tackle football? Should we do that?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I also asked Watson from a defensive coordinator standpoint, if you go over there and say, hey, I want you to – he said, no. You want that – you don't want to know what that defense is doing. You want them to be 100% a mystery. So they're a mystery to you, a mystery to them, mystery – because now you're creating a game like we're creating a game-like situation. I would let them hit Saturday night. I would. To a certain level. To a certain level, like you're saying.
I mean, we're getting a preseason game with Furman anyway, so maybe that's the game where they're going a live 11-on-11 and let them alternate possessions in that one. If it's that close going into that game, I don't know, and that's how you judge how they play, where they can really be tackled. But are you getting a true assessment playing a Furman? By the way, can we you want week 0 to be real football? And I'm with you, but could we just move those 2 gimme crap games to the first 2 games of everybody's schedule? Like we played Georgia Tech should be week 3, and then it's 9 SEC games, and the first 2 games of the season are the cupcakes, and let's play those like the first 2 weeks of August, or the second Saturday of August and the third Saturday, like preseason NFL, and then we'll have a real 10-game season after that. Can we do that?
Thank you,
if
Rusty.
everyone did that,
it's a great point.
Viewing slate wouldn't be that great.
Yeah, it'd be horrible. You
First
can't
week
do that.
or 2 of the season.
Yeah,
That's why they won't do it.
That's right. But he does have a good point. There's no reason to be playing a cupcake game in our league in November. And some of that stopped now with this new schedule, but some of it hasn't if you look at the schedules. There is no reason to be playing. If you look at and I hate to reference this, okay, I'm not trying to be funny here, but if you look at what the Big 18 does, they get those games out of the way, and then you're playing, you're building drama with your league schedule, which is what it ought to be about. So, it's going to be interesting to see how this thing plays out. Is it Brandon? And I like what Adam Sparks said. He said it in one sense. He said, he said it. You told on yourself, Tony. I'm gonna tell on myself. I would all summer was thinking you need to play both quarterbacks in that first game of the year, and then now I'm to the point where I look at that first game of the year and I said, no, I don't. I don't need to play both quarterbacks first game of the year. I need to play one quarterback first game of the year and get that quarterback ready for Georgia Tech. Matt, which is right? Because Adam was kind of arguing with himself there, which is good. It's a healthy point he made.
You'll play both because it's going to be such a blowout. But it's when you put the second guy in is kind of do you rotate them with the ones? Does the starter play with the first team the whole first half? You'll play both of them because it'll be such a lopsided game, and there's probably not a whole lot you can get from that game. Even with the live reps, because it's such a mismatch.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting.
I wouldn't want my number one guy out there in a 50-0 game in the second half taking potentially shots.
No, but Brian, the Big 18 does have the idea right when they get rid of all the non-conference stuff before the season starts.
Yeah, they've always done that.
Yeah. Back to the phones we go. 865.
Tennessee's not doing it. They're playing their 3 non-league games first, and their last 9 are SEC.
Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, is this me?
Hey, go right ahead. It is you.
Hey, Tony.
Hey,
Matt,
Joshy, baby.
Boy. How you guys?
How you doing, my man? Good to hear from you.
Good. Glad you're back home.
Yeah. The boys are back in town.
Yes. So, guys, I don't get this. TCU played at North Carolina last year in week 1 to start the season. Was it up to TCU or was it up to whoever's schedule to put the next game in Ireland this year?
That is a conference decision because I heard the Earmark guy talk about that. He's selling the concept.
So it was never a home and home?
No, they're an international league is what he's selling. That's why they're doing it.
Yeah. That's just stupid ass shit. Sorry for my language.
No, you're right. And if you're trying to grow the sport, why don't you put real games there? I come across a total hypocrite on this because I would love to play Notre Dame in Dublin, Ireland. Matt, does that make me a hypocrite or am I right? Just a one-shot deal, Matt.
Yes, I think that's silly. Play them in Notre Dame Stadium.
So,
wake up the echo.
Yes, for sure. And I'm at the point where I don't think any team should schedule Notre Dame on their schedule until they join a conference. Make them join a conference.
I completely agree with that. And by the way, that schedule they have is a total embarrassment this year.
Yeah. Do you guys think they could lose maybe one game like at BYU or Miami at home?
They're favored in every game. I was looking last night, advanced line on that BYU game. What do you think it is, Joshy boy?
I would say Notre Dame by 7.
I think that's right. I think you're right in the ballpark.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know, Tony. I just want whoever starts at quarterback to win for the team. But I hope Faison wins the job, just like Refletic Judd was saying. Like, if George starts and he takes one hit, offensive lineman misses an assignment, and he gets blown up, he's donezo this season.
No doubt about it. I mean, George McIntyre at his spindliness is one hit to his lower extremities away from being carried off the field with a dustpan and a brush, not a stretcher.
Right.
But you know what? There have been a lot of spindly guys who have gone out there and have played and competed with guile, and who knows? I mean, the kid was a multi-sport athlete. He's an athlete's athlete. He just comes in a very odd-looking package for the era we're in right now. He got to come over to my house. I'd show him how to gain some weight. That's for damn sure if you look at me right now.
Yes. Do you guys think, coming off the undefeated 16 in a national championship season, do you think there is regression this season for Indiana? They could possibly go 9-3 or 10-2.
Matt, 9-3 Indiana. You buying, selling, or trading that?
I mean, there's certainly going to be regression there. I'll be stunned if they go undefeated again. So yeah, the 9-3, 10-2. I haven't dug into their schedule a ton, but yeah, I think that's probably a fair thing to say. Certainly a playoff contender again. Absolutely.
For sure. And one last question out the door, guys. Do you think eventually we could see an NFL team playing overseas before not long?
Oh, absolutely. That's going to happen. Brian's
They do that every
Jags.
year. I mean, they've done that for like 15, 20 years now.
Brian's Jaguars.
It's multiple times.
The London Fog. That's what we're going to call them. The Fog. The London Fog.
You know, Auburn got to go to Baylor last year, but Baylor's they don't have to go back to Auburn. They go to Atlanta, which is interesting.
That's just Auburn selling that home game.
It's just a money grab for Auburn.
Yep. Sucks to do it. In this day and age, it really blows, man. And the North hates Tony is a good point. The thing that really sucks about Notre Dame this year is that they've got a great football team. They don't need this. That's why if they go, I'm telling you, if they go 10-2 against that schedule, they ought to get left at home. John Bryce, we know that'll be heresy to him, and this, that, and the other. Some of my Notre Dame friends that I know, but shit, man, I mean that's ridiculous. Come on now. Great call, Joshy boy, by which all others will be judged. Joshy boy, you and I share something. We have something in common, and that's we have a band of haters that hate everything over on that YouTube channel that love picking at us. And Joshy boy, I stand with you. I stand in solidarity with you. I stand in solidarity with your phone call. I stand in solidarity with your character. I stand in solidarity against these idiots and these morons and these miscreants over in that YouTube chat. These plebes, humanoids, as Bobby Heenan used to say. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
I'm on.
You are on the High Noon Overdrive Overtime and the High Noon Hotline all at once. It's incredible.
Hey, shout out Joshy boy, back-to-back curse words. Shit ass, not a combo I would have used, but fan of chaos. I love it. My guy. Tom, I'm working on another blog, but I got some concerns about it.
Aight.
You ever seen Hero Dreams of Sushi?
Hero Dreams of Sushi?
Yeah, one of the best movies of all time. Documentary, Netflix. You seen it?
No, I need to look at it, though. What's it about?
The guy owns a 3 Michelin star sushi restaurant down by the subway in Tokyo. Mm-hmm. He sends his people out every year to the fish market. Mm-hmm. And there's one tuna every day that's regarded as the best tuna. You know who gets it?
Who?
Hero. Because he's a guy. He's been master chef for 40 years, man. That's my concern about the blog. I'm not sure y'all are ready. But Tom,
what's gotten into this guy? Hey, Matt, this guy was doing so well, right, as a caller. What's gotten into this guy, Matt? He's like in the third corner of his mind right now.
He's been on vacation a lot recently, so I think he's not locked in yet.
I kind of love him.
Still in off-season mode.
I kind of love him. I'm still in off-season mode.
Hey, back to what everybody wants to know, Tom. 38, Ryan Coleman Williams, Alabama, freak. 48, Byron Brown, Auburn, freak on the freaks list.
Yep.
Who's more of a freak, John Mateer or Mike Matthews? What you think?
Ooh, by that measure, I would go with John Mateer.
By 2, number 69. Hey,
you agree?
Tom, who's more? Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know these guys. I don't see them in the.
Oh, you're on the freaks list. All right, John Adams liked this the other day. Go ahead.
Nico, I'm a leaver. What you think he's at on the freaks list? Freaks.
Where do you think Matt Nico is on the freak list? Because he's super freaking yout.
I didn't know he was on there, but I know for sure he's not in the top 37 because that's what we went over on Tuesday.
Right about that. He's number 67.
Really?
Number 67 from UCLA.
Nico's number 67?
One spot ahead of his Big 12 counterpart, Dylan Robinson, out of Washington. Shout out to the Wisconsin strength coach for getting Junior Poyser at number 36, Javon Robinson at number 77, and, just putting some guys out there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm kind of Davian Collins from Penn State at 91, we couldn't get him in the portal. Deal, you know?
Does MTSU have anybody on this list?
Hey, these guys don't do real research. My boy Blacknick's probably got about 15 deserving of being on the list, but they're hating on the small schools. Quincy Rhodes, Arkansas, 65. Hayden Hanson, Oklahoma, 59. Jere Bledsoe, Mississippi State, 95. He's a freak, Tom.
Laura just made me a quesadilla for lunch with some jalapenos in it.
Leave the cheese out. You're trying to lose weight.
No cheese.
Yeah.
No cheese. I've cut all cheese out this week. No cheese.
We're on a cut, baby. We're on a cut.
Yeah. Is that what you do when you're trying to lose weight?
Intermittent fast. Eat from 12 to 8, like you're doing. Probably go over 15,000 steps. Hit your 50 push-ups a couple times a day. Get a couple 50 burgers in there. And, join Armored Gym out there in West Knox and get you a little sauna treatment if you need to.
The North hates Tony said, good Lord, Tony, manners. I was just clapping my gums, apparently. Matt, do I do that when I'm eating on the air? Do I clap my gums?
Yes, but you usually had been doing a really good job of muting yourself when that happens. Obviously, when you're on remote in Philly, that certainly didn't happen with the watermelon. But
Boy, Billy, you're on a heater today, brah. I cannot wait to see your blog. Can you give us just a little idea of what it deals with?
I say it's going to touch on nostalgia. That's my teaser.
Oh, I love
but I'm more
nostalgia.
number 49, Deuce Alexander. I'm going to see him play September 19th when I'm at that Ole Miss LSU game. Number 49 on the Freaks list, Deuce Alexander.
Boy, Billy, do you believe more freaks come from this league or the Big 18?
I looked it up, Tom. I think it was like one more on the list came out of the SEC, but it was close. And they don't even have an MTSU guy on the list, so you know it ain't really a true list. You know what I'm saying?
No way, man.
I know. MTSU got a former Big Ten lineman, some guy named Reese something, 6'7". He's lifting the house down. They got him doing all kind of stuff. I see videos every day, man. If he ain't on the list, it ain't a real list.
No doubt about it. My dog, Billy, never comes in here, boy, Billy. But now that I have chicken on my plate, guess where she is? Right at my feet.
Oh, yeah, looking for a little runoff.
Yep.
Yeah, you bound to miss your mouth once or twice, I'm sure. The success rate's probably pretty high for that dog when that goes.
Matt, are you going to take this guy ripping me like that? I mean, just rip me, Matt.
He's ripping over your food eating, which when you do it on air makes it fair game.
Boy, Billy, one of these days when I take off again, would you be interested in coming in here and hosting?
100%.
You really?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Would you do like a representative job?
Yeah, you got to give me some rules and groundwork. I got to learn how everything works and whatnot, and what to say, not to say. I don't want to get any fines and all that, get you banned off the radio. But radio show, man, I can handle that. It's the third most important thing I do that day, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what you doing today? You going to the park? What are we talking about?
May, I got to practice for a gig tomorrow night. We're playing at Calhoun's on the River. We practiced last night, and they broke out 6 new songs on me.
Any bangers?
Oh, yeah, I'm having to learn. Well, yeah, we're playing Hard to Handle by the Black Crowes, and I'm using a mandolin, and Lance is using an acoustic guitar, and we worked up a real percussive edition of that, treatment of that song. That's a great tune, man.
I like it. Y'all ever do any originals or always covers?
No. Lauren writes songs, and we've recorded a few. So, yeah, we do originals.
All right.
She's a really good songwriter and a great singer.
You know my boy, Jake Winstrom. You ever heard of him?
No, I haven't. Mm-mm.
You got a record player?
Yeah, I got a record player.
I'll bring you a record one day down at Calhoun's or something.
Thank you, my man. Yeah, I love vinyl.
Yeah, I got you.
Boy, Billy, you're my man. Kid Huddy says, Basilio, you slap your gums even when you're not eating. See, Matt, that's the kind of stuff right there that really makes me think people are against me and not for me in this audience.
Well, you have control of the penalty box for the YouTubers. You don't have to read those comments on air. You could just give them a 5-minute minor.
Yeah, we played live at Calhoun's tomorrow night, precursor to our Calhoun's Fridays, a couple weeks away from that. And then we play Calhoun's in Lenoir City on Sunday night. So we're having a Calhoun's weekend. So, Lulu, what are you doing? You cannot eat off my plate. You silly girl. You silly girl. What are you doing? Matt, I got a story for you. Dog story. I haven't told it on the air yet this week. I was kind of ashamed of it. So, and I'm sorry for doing that, but that stuff is making my nose run. The jalapeno. Hey, Matt, the other night, this beautiful dog of mine, I was gone from here for like 5 weeks, which is kind of crazy to think about, but I did the show, Pennsylvania, and did the blog every day and didn't take a day off and enjoyed family and enjoyed being in my old stomping grounds, though they've changed so much. She's now eating off my lap. Boy, Billy, you're right. She's literally like licking at my crotch area. No offense to my crotch area. So the other night when I got home, I fell asleep in the futon after driving, Laura tells it this way. She went back to take a shower, and I had just gotten the blog done and everything like that, and we'd unpacked a little bit, and it was like 10:30 at night, and I just fell asleep. At 2:30 in the morning, I'm awakened by the dog who wants to go outside really badly. So I'd gotten probably 4 good hours of sleep. And I'm like, why does the dog want to go out? Well, this dog's like got hound in her, and she smells something outside, and she wants to go outside. It's like 2:30 in the morning, and I get up, and I'm all of a sudden I stand up, and I'm all wet, and I mean all wet. And two things I didn't realize. I didn't realize that she was up in the bed, up on my futon, because she doesn't do that generally. She's not allowed up there, where if I fall asleep there. She knows that too. But I thought, oh, that's cute. She misses me. So she jumped up off the thing. And then, hey, Matt, when I got up, I was soaking wet. And I'm like, what in the world? Am I sweating? And then I went back to the thing and I pulled the sheet back. And there were 2 big, huge puddles in it. This dog had urinated twice, Matt.
Oh, God.
On top of me.
I was hoping the story didn't go there.
I looked it up online. And when the owner goes away for several weeks, dogs do that to mix their smell with your smell. That is a real thing. This doggy did pee-pees on me. So I had to go back.
Out of love.
Out of love. At 3 o'clock in the morning, I had to go back and take a shower.
You had to take a shower.
I took a shower.
Why do you tell this story on air, Tone? I mean, I love you, but why are you telling us this on
Brian,
air?
do you like that story, yes or no?
Yes, but good Lord.
We're nearing the 4th hour. That's why.
Wait till next later says salmonella outbreak linked to fresh jalapenos. These aren't fresh. These aren't fresh jalapenos. These are from North Carolina. What's the brand? You buy them at Ingles, like pipe. They're pretty good. Big, huge jug of them. Big, huge jug of them. Anyway, so John Adam Snipe said you got a golden retriever shower.
Jesus, what a good Lord. Show needed to end with
Beach
Boy
Bum,
Billy.
Tennessee says Tony also does a bit of Barney Fife sniff when he makes a point. That thing that Todd Knotts did. God, such great acting. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Incredible, man.
What's up, my brother?
I don't know, man.
Lee, when dogs do that, that means they miss you, right? 5 weeks later? She's like,
I mean, man, I've had dogs my whole life, and I've never been pissed on twice by one like that. So.
She's the best, man. I love you, Lulu. You're a good girl.
I mean,
You're a
hey,
good girl.
it's the things we do for our animals, I guess. But that sounds like, I don't know.
I didn't get mad. Hey, listen, I didn't get mad at her.
No, I mean, what are you going to do at that point?
She's my buddy, and she missed me. She's my buddy, and she missed me.
Love dogs, man. But anyway, I just had to, on this scheduling thing, look, and by no means am I ever going to shill for Notre Dame. That's for damn sure. But the scheduling and equity thing has been a part of college football since the beginning of time. Like, and it's more pronounced nowadays because of these giant, enormous conferences, and you can't play everybody. But historically, Notre Dame has played like one of the tougher schedules. It started to go downhill a large part because they have to play these 6 ACC games, which of course is of their doing. But the ACC sucks.
That's right.
So you're getting 6. You know, what if they replaced Wisconsin and Michigan State and added 2 more ACC opponents? Then they would basically have Miami's schedule, and it wouldn't be any more. It wouldn't be more difficult.
But at least they'd be in the league, right?
Yeah, I mean, and they would basically be playing a league. Like half the ACC is playing 9 games in the league this year. The other half is playing 8 games, which is weird in itself. It makes no sense. But yeah, they would have an 8-game ACC schedule, so they would technically be in a league, and their schedule wouldn't be any more difficult. It's they would basically have Miami's schedule. And hell, Notre Dame's playing SMU, which Miami ain't even playing this year. I guess my point is, like, Miami is also playing a very easy schedule. Texas Tech has a very easy schedule in the Big 12. Penn State's is a joke in the Big 10. Like, relatively speaking, for the SEC, Georgia's just pretty dadgum manageable. Georgia's going to be favored in every game they play this year. You know, like, it just kind of is what it is. Like, when I hear people bring this stuff up, it's always trashing Notre Dame. Like, that's almost correlating them to not being worthy. And look, if they don't win, if they lose 2 games, they're not going to get in the playoffs. They're going to get. It didn't happen last year. You know, I don't think they get in if they lose 2 games.
Well, that's justice.
I'm not really sure. Like, what was Notre Dame supposed to do? I guess you can argue that actually getting out of this ACC marriage, to where maybe they could schedule better teams, but outside of that, I mean, USC, no matter what Lincoln Riley said, is the one that pulled out of that series, the current series, which makes sense if you're at USC if you look at their schedule. But, you know, if you're Notre Dame, what are you supposed to do? You're going to tell them, Wisconsin, sorry, this cool game we had planned in Lambeau, we're not going to play it because you've been awful. Like, you're not going to get anybody else to play you. Nobody in the SEC is going to play them, like, last minute. Like, I'm not sure who you schedule that would make their schedule any better.
Texas Tech.
Yeah, I guess you could schedule Texas Tech. Yeah,
I'm just kind of joking. They say that they'll schedule anybody.
But you know what they say about Texas Tech too? People are starting to lock them out of the way they're trying to buy these sports. Right? You hear these ADs saying we're not going to schedule Texas Tech if we can take them at their word.
I mean, what the thing I don't get about the hate with Texas Tech is, like, I think it's good for the Big 12 that you have a school that's willing to go out and pay money and be good. But I think that should push the other teams in that conference to do the same thing. Like, you should go out and spend money too. Like, I think it's good that you've got a school in that conference that wants to be good, that's willing to go out and spend money.
That's why, Lee, this whole thing, all the money that's involved in the business decisions that are made, blah, 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 blah. Like this Coleman thing, I don't care what he does. I'm glad he's going to play football. He needs to play football. He's been given God-given gifts to play football. Who cares? And the thing about Texas Tech, you know, they're just buying things because they can. If we could, we would buy them. So who's going to hold a grudge against that?
I just want to see better football. Like, I want to see better football in that league. I wish there were more teams like Texas Tech in that league that wanted to spend and be competitive.
Yeah.
You know, with them. And so I don't hate on them. I mean, good for those guys. They're good for their fans.
Texas and Texas A&M do the same thing. What's the difference?
Well, Texas Tech is just the modern day SMU. This is kind of legal now.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, the scheduling thing is just like, I mean, Notre Dame's schedule is kind of a joke. Like, I get it. But look, if they lose 2 games, they're gonna get penalized. They're not gonna get into the playoffs if they lose 2 games.
Good. They're favored in every game. They should win every game.
Yeah.
They're replete with first-round draft picks. They've got great talent on both sides of the line of scrimmage. They've got a great young coach. I mean, there are no excuses this year.
No. I mean, it's a loaded roster. I mean, I would be shocked if they lose 2, but they could. Like, I guess Freeman's had a stinker in the past, but yeah, they're pretty loaded. I just, you know, the scheduling thing is just nobody's schedules are equal. And
yeah, you're right.
You know, I think at the end of the year, you've got to look at strength of record. I think that's a little bit different than strength of schedule. If you're going to use that component into the whole thing, because there's just more to it than just wins and losses, obviously. Like, certainly a 10-2 Notre Dame team, should be able to get in over even a 9-3 SEC team. You know, but
you're the man.
Yeah,
it's going to be great, man. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun. Hey, we're going to have a lot of fun on their winners and losers program this year. It's going to be a great football season.
Yeah, I'm super excited. And I mean, I don't know. It wasn't much fun for me last year. I had, like, the worst year I've had ever. I think ever playing college football. So I don't know if everybody wants to listen to me, but yeah, I am looking forward to it though.
Thank you, my man. It's like they tell me. There is a fade button, Lee. That's what they tell me. Basilio, we like to hear your takes so we can fade you. Which I guess is a sign of Lulu. Wow, you licked a plate, didn't you, little girl? Did you lick the plate? You lick the plate? Are you playing? I wasn't mad at my dog, man. I think I scared her that I disappeared for too long. She's my buddy. Because Laura said she wouldn't play. She wouldn't get on the floor and play. Dogs are interesting creatures, aren't they, Matt?
Very, very, and yeah, they obviously miss you when you're gone. They love it when you come back. All of them act differently.
Yep.
Never heard of what yours did, but
she unloaded on me. I can send you the photo. You can show Tina later.
Jesus,
do you want the photo?
Pictures? Are you kidding me?
No, I sent them to my family
at 2:00 in the morning.
So not. I mean, it's bad. It's bad enough that this happened to you and you took pictures, which is really creepy. But to admit all this stuff on air, even in the third hour, I mean, come on, Tone. What are we doing here?
Somebody just said that my.
You need to get that LSU helmet back there and let her use it for a bathroom, since you apparently got it in 2001. That's incredible.
The North Hates Tony said, Basilio, you've got to send those photos to Matt. Should I put him in our group chat?
You put him in that group chat, and I'm blocking your number.
I mean, why? Somebody said, and I quote, it's the North Hates Tony, who is all of a sudden just, I don't even know what that means. But, Tony, I've listened to you for 30-plus years, and that might be the most insanely awful story I've ever heard. One day we've got to get Bino to tell his story about the buffet that he ate at somewhere on the road when he was with the operating engineers, and what happened in that buffet and how people were walking around this guy when it happened, getting their food. I mean, Brian, you didn't mind the story, did you? I thought Matt, being a dog lover, would appreciate the story, Brian. Am I being led to believe that?
I don't know if I'd.
You're a dog lover, Brian. Has your dog ever peed on you? Tell the truth.
I don't think so. Not even close to that degree. But it's a smaller dog, so no, it's never peed on me.
This dog's like 80 pounds, and she unloaded two big.
Now, dogs do like pee on the carpet if they're mad at you. They do that.
Yeah,
I've never heard of them peeing on somebody.
She jumped up there in the middle of the night and double barrel unloaded.
She might have peed on your bed and then you just rolled over.
No. She, first of all, she's not allowed up there. Secondly, she did it, so she apparently she knew what she was doing. One site I read said that they want to mix their scent with yours, reintegrate you into their ecosystem. Have you ever heard of that, Matt? How they want to do that? If you go away for a long time, and they say that's a thing.
That makes sense. Like, that makes sense. Like, I can see the logic in that from a dog's perspective. Yeah.
Two big, huge, Matt. Wait till you see them. Puddles.
Oh my God! Don't worry. I will not see them.
Back to the phones.
I can't believe you took pictures.
Of course, I took pictures.
You're a real sicko.
I was semi-proud of it.
And, yeah, you're bragging on air about it.
Hello and welcome in.
What are we doing here?
How are my French compatriots doing today?
W. Lynn, are you a dog lover or no?
Yes, I'm a dog and a cat lover.
Okay. Have you ever had that happen to you?
At this point,
no, I've never had that happen to me.
All right. Maybe I'm the only one.
But I believe if you looked it up, some dogs might do it. They mark their territory, you know.
Yeah. I wasn't mad.
They go around the backyard and pee, and that's their territory, you know.
I went back and took a shower and probably got like 2 hours of sleep at night because I about threw up. I was so it was so sickening. And, you know. I mean,
your dog knew you had Yankee dust on you, dust particles.
Yeah, Yankee dust particles. She reacted the way W. Lynn would. Lift your leg and let it fly.
Guys, I was looking at some of the stuff we've been talking about. there is just 4 teams that play those hoopty games on game 11 of their 12-game schedule, and that should be made illegal. It's Alabama, Ole Miss, Auburn, and Mississippi State. And Auburn's playing Samford and Son. Alabama's playing UTC. That's ridiculous.
In the throes of the season, right? Because Rusty's right. They ought to get them out of the way.
The
early
11th
in the schedule.
game, of the season.
I thought we were done that. I thought when we got to this new thing, we were done the 11th game.
I thought so too. Now we always have our 4 teams that play their rivals from the ACC on the 12th game.
That's okay with me. I mean, if they want to keep doing that.
Maybe there was a contract written in or set up that they had to play that game this year that way.
Bob Wardala is making me feel better, Matt. If you gave me the choice of being peed on or this happening, I'm choosing what happened to me instead of Bob Wardala. Bob Wardala said over here on YouTube, he said, I think dogs do it because they're mad you left. I had a Great Dane drop a huge deuce in a suitcase when I got home. Matt, are you glad?
Yeah, I've heard of that.
You glad of that? You got that story, Matt? Bob, do you have any photos? He said, thank goodness the suitcase was empty. I'd have taken some photos of that.
I know if our cat's kitty litter was full, they'd drop a deuce on the rug in the bathroom, and my wife would about go nuts.
Say?
Of course, she'd have to throw the rug in the laundry and wash it. If I came home, I'd get it up and spray the hell out of it with Lysol and just rub it up.
Hey, Matt, John Adams Snipe said the answer, Vicky Fulmer and Basilio. The question, famous Vols urinated on by animals.
Oh, my.
When those people in Florida did that, they are total animals. I'm so glad you said that.
They threw it on our bench. It hit Andy Kelly sitting on the bench, urine.
Was a young Matt Dixon there, or were you too young for that, Matt, to experience the way that
that was 91.
The way they were animals in the 90s.
I didn't go to Gainesville until 2005.
It's terrible. But,
Danny Sheridan said it sounds like
Dr.
Danny Sheridan said it sounds like she got into one of Tone's big watermelons and dropped it on him.
Tony, can I get into some football right now?
Please.
Oh, okay, since it's the month of August,
come here, Lou.
I'm calling it the 008 plan in honor of Sean Connery in the original 007. I think we ought to take 00 means go back 2 weekends in August. I'm talking about 14 straight days of college football night games every day of the week. And now Tennessee would not do that. They'd play on Saturdays, but you'd have your Big 12, ACC, Group of 6, 14 straight days. What you would be bumping from ESPN would be the WNBA and Little League Baseball. 14 games, the whole end of August have games. College football, night games.
You know, W. Lynn, I kind of like your plan. I think you're a man with a great plan there.
And then we could stick maybe an extra open date in the season. And I still want to start the playoffs Thanksgiving weekend. I don't care that there's one NFL game on a Friday. You play all day Friday and all day Saturday, that first round, whatever it is. Everybody in the country's going to be watching it.
Yep, you get smoked, though, W. Lynn. If you went up against the NBA, you'd get smoked like a joint cigarette, my brother.
On Friday and Saturday after Thanksgiving?
Absolutely.
And NFL, not NBA.
You get
There's
smoked.
only one NFL game on Friday.
It's in big trouble.
He's talking about the NFL.
There's only one NFL game on Friday.
Oh, I agree with that. I would go coast to coast on Friday. I agree with that.
That would be 2 of the greatest days to end the fall And then you could, if you're going to have some kind of qualifier games, you could have that the first weekend of December, and then start the playoff proper, middle of December, whatever you want to do.
Well,
but Thanksgiving weekend, we need to utilize that, and we could do it if we started the last 2 weekends of August.
I think that's a good idea, W. Lynn. Maybe they'll take that under advisement because they've talked about how they're going to do away with the Army-Navy game that weekend.
Yeah, Army-Navy, you could put them on a prime time sometime near the end of the week or the schedule, and it'll still be big.
I love that
They
game.
do not. They don't. I love that game, but they don't need to be playing 2 weeks after the season.
No, it makes no sense.
They could play. We could give them a Wednesday night or something. All day.
Hey, the Wednesday. Hey, how about the Wednesday before Thanksgiving? That's their night, and it's an American holiday. We celebrate
or
Thanksgiving
even on
with the
Veterans
Army-Navy
Day,
game,
whatever that falls.
Yeah, or Veterans Day.
That's a holiday for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so get and use that Thanksgiving Friday and Saturday, man. It'd be like a March Madness for 2 days. Game starting at noon. Game on the West Coast could start at 9 or 10. So it's on the weekend. That's good. So I call it the 008 plan, 00 plan. If you're Jethro.
W. Lynn, I love it. I once ate out of a Jethro Bodine cereal bowl when I was a kid, a whole box of Count Chocula at one time. And W. Lynn, I thank you. There's no telling how many calories are in a box of Count Chocula, but that's what I would eat at night. My dad would go, "Where's the cereal?" And I go, "I ate it." He goes, "What, in one sitting?" Any final thoughts here, boys, on the way out? Matt, did I leave you?
Better take your dog to the bathroom. Better let her empty out at night before you go to bed from now on, Tony.
Did I leave you? She hasn't done it any other night, which tells me we thought, because the first thought is there's something wrong with my dog. That's first thought. God, I hope there's nothing wrong with my dog. And they're so precious, But there was nothing wrong with my dog. It was just, she just sort of, I think she was pissed that I was away too long. Matt couldn't believe that's where the story ended. Did you think, Matt, that's where it was going to go when I started talking?
No, I was really curious what was going to happen when you wanted to go outside. I thought maybe it had caught something outside that it had kind of saved for you, and it was going to be grotesque that way. But when you mentioned that you were soaked when you got up, that's when it took a real turn in a very dark way.
It was I felt so violated. Okay, so violated.
And everyone who heard the story feels violated now.
No, Big Dog said he loved it. Now on the chat right now, did y'all like the story or no? People on the chat right now. Should I take the story out for people that are going to hear future episodes, yes or no? John Adam Snipe, I tune in for UT football and I get canine UTI. I think people like the story. My sense is that people enjoyed the story. Luke says, Tony, disregard the dissenting opinions. It's one of the top 5 overtime stories of all time. Big Dog said that story is made for the third hour. Said it's an incredible story. And wait till next year, said Levitt, as in Leavitt, Matt. Leave it. Say. Bob Wardalla.
No, it makes for an entertaining overtime for sure.
Well, Bob Wardalla, who got his, I don't know how to put this, but he got a special delivery in his suitcase. He enjoyed the story. Anyway, you all have a great day. Love you. I want to thank my friends at High Noon It's high noon somewhere. Tomorrow we're back in here once again. Hughie will be in the mix and in the hunt with us. The sun's up. Shout out to my friends at High Noon. 14 flavors, real vodka, real fruit juice, 100 calories, no sugar added, gluten-free. Remember, black cherry and pineapple are excellent. 14 flavors, though. The High Noon iced tea, 6 refreshing flavors, including peach and lemon are great. Green tea, half and half as well. And then High Noon tequila seltzer, 6 refreshing flavors, including the great Blood Orange. High Noon, real vodka, real fruit juice. Live like the sun's always out. Brought to you by your High Noon Spirits Company, 21 and over. Enjoy responsibly. Love you, appreciate you. Peace. G to the B to the O. And watch your dog when she's taking a leak. See ya.